I really love animation.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It's we started that in third semester, right?
I'm pretty sure we started in second
Second
already.
semester, yeah.
You
We started
did animation on a video game we made.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, second semester we started doing animations, and I immediately fell in love with it.
You were good too.
One thing is in 3D being able to create whatever you can imagine. Like your only limit is your own imagination. But to then see these things come to life in an animation is just magic to me.
Animation
Yeah.
is magic.
Animation is magic.
Do you have a soundboard for that?
Fuck, I don't know. Wait. I might
Wait,
have.
wait. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember what number 2 is.
I'm ready.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Beautiful. All right, animation and magic. Okay, what kind of animation are you inspired by? Any specifics? You're just like, yes, that's my jam.
Well, an easy go-to would be Pixar. But again, Pixar, they're so fucking amazing. Their animation teams.
You know, it's actually very interesting because in the past, when I started getting more into it, I've been watching animation movies since I was a kid, like everyone else. But and I have always been fascinated by animation. And there was a point not even that long ago, I think it was a year back, where I said that DreamWorks might be better than Pixar. I have reevaluated that, and it's
controversial.
not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's controversial, but it's not true.
You make it
Fine.
still. Corporate loyalty is important these days.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Fuck it. What made you change your mind?
I rewatched some DreamWorks movies. One of my all-time favorite trilogies, How to Train Your Dragon, and I also watched some Pixar movies, including The Incredibles, Inside Out, and finally, that's the amazing movie Soul.
Oh yeah, I heard you like that one.
And
Still have to see it.
I don't know, Pixar is in a sense flawless in these movies. There is like the writing is impeccable, and the way they tell the story, both the visual and the writing of it is, and how it is combined, it's incredible. And I think that's an incredible achievement, and I don't think we should try to take it away from them, because they are the fucking kings, and we should acknowledge that.
Absolutely. There's always something new and innovative happening in their movies every time. Definitely something to look up to.
Oh yeah, and yesterday I watched Moana again, Disney, and I remember Moana being a pretty good movie, like a really good movie. I really liked it the first time I saw it when it first came out. I don't know, 2016. It's like many years ago by now, but I don't know. It disappointed me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Moana did?
Moana disappointed me. Yes, it was all right. It was better like above average in a way, and the animation, of course, is incredible, and there's nothing to say there. But the storytelling and the writing, they put a lot of dumb things in there that are completely unnecessary, and things to please audiences, and like catchphrases that do not make sense, and weird stuff that I hate. I come to hate catchphrases in movies, like one-liners. It's the worst thing ever. It's like
another
like when what's his name, the Rock's character, Maui. When Maui he signs the paddle of this boat, and he's like, I'm gonna ride it with a bird, and that makes it a tweet. Like, oh, you're killing me. You're killing me right now.
Oh man, those for the dads of the audience.
Oh.
I mean, stupid jokes have always been in every movie.
Yeah.
That's a given.
It's an acquired taste. I will agree to that.
But yeah, I will agree there is a level of how stupid a joke can be.
Yeah, because I think, you know,
There's a limit to it.
for
Okay?
example,
There's a limit.
in the Incredibles, for example, in the opening scene where Mr. Incredible is going through all these things, he has to get to his wedding, right? But there's so much crime, and he stops along the way to help one person, one there, and then he meets Elastigirl as the girl that he's supposed to marry, right? And she tells him, maybe you should be and he says like, I work alone, I don't want your help, I didn't ask for your help. And then she says, maybe you should be more flexible. Now that, in my opinion, is a smart joke.
Yeah, like it's relatable to the situation, and it came unexpected.
Exactly. It's not something you just say to please some audience, some specific kind of pop culture thing that is probably gonna age very badly. Like if you watch Moana in 50 years, that's probably not gonna be funny at all. We're saying it's a tweet.
But the thing you said with The Incredibles and Elastigirl, it's more of a flirting joke in that scene.
That too.
Yeah?
It's more of an adult thing, and I guess that has something to do with it as well. But it's still a pun. It's a pun,
Yeah.
and
It is a pun to her being, well,
and
elastic.
exactly. And I say that because I don't think the jokes should not be part of movies. To the contrary, I think movies should be fun to watch, and there should be plenty of jokes and puns and stuff. But there should be clever in a way.
Yeah. In terms of what you said about inspirational animations and such, another one is the Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah, I really love the animation style that went with it. It's that kind. It got that stop motion feel to it.
Yeah.
And we also saw we had a guy out from Sony Studios at TrueMax Academy.
I missed that day. I wasn't there that day.
It's so cool. Okay, because he actually told us a lot about how they made Into the Spider-Verse, and what they did in like fast-paced scenes. If say Peter Parker was running, they would detach the limbs from the 3D model. To make this kind of swooshing effect.
Oh yeah.
And what they did afterwards in post, what's that called? Post-work?
Post-production.
Post-work.
Post-work.
You know, when the postmen are there and they deliver the letters. Yeah. Post-production.
What they did in the post-production was they would actually make 2D smudges.
Yeah, I've seen. I wasn't there that day, but I've seen a lot of videos about how they made Into the Spider-Verse, and like with that and the outlines they put, and that I love the frames. Like there's some frames where they change the whole color of the picture of the screen.
It's also the thing I really love about that movie is that it's like a lot of the colors are so dark, and like most of the times you see, no, that's towards the end. It like gets very dark, the whole color scheme, but it's still so vibrant and colorful.
Yeah.
Even though the majority is just black.
Yeah, they make it work.
But it's got all of these neon colors all over the place, and it's
and they really gave it that comic book feel, and
they did.
It was, and I think I heard a story about that where there was this guy who who spent a whole year researching and finalizing, making the style of the movie, and which they used to make the movie. And they then had, I don't remember, like, this is not completely credible what I'm saying, but there was some sort of disagreement or something between him and the studio, and they fired him. And after a year, they kept his research and work, and they fired him and didn't credit him at all.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
But yeah, like, but I also thought an interesting thing about the Into Spider-Verse, the guy, the animator or lead animator from it, he came out. He said something about the little Japanese girl. You remember her?
Yeah.
She was apparently this complete freak of nature. Like there was no limbs attached to this girl, so you would be able to squash and stretch every single part. You could put the eyes where you wanted them to be. They would like, float around on her just oval-shaped plain face. It would be like it would just be moving the parts wherever you needed them to be at all times for it to look so it's more like a paper figure. Like
that's really cool.
You're moving around. And I thought that was really interesting to think to.
Yeah,
to think
they actually they had to do the same thing with Kingpin. Kingpin.
Yeah, his head was just like attached on the body, like put.
Not even the body. It was just a black box.
Yeah.
It was just a black square that his head was attached to, and then they moved his head around like to fit the animation.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes total sense. I just pulled out some images of Kingpin from Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, that makes total sense.
It's just like going to show that sometimes you can be real creative with the way that you make an animation work. Especially if a 3D model looks like a complete disaster or a monstrosity.
Yeah, this is a thing that our teachers have been telling us from day one, that in animation, in 3D, you have to cheat as much as you can.
Oh yeah.
And it's something that I think people forget very easily. And things have to be completely perfect. And sometimes they have to. Sometimes you have to make a product that things are completely perfect in that sense. But most of the times you can do things that are way out of the box and that do not make sense. For example, lighting a scene and making some items from some objects in the scene not to interact with this light because it looks better. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to look good.
Right.
Yeah, but okay. So all of these things we've been talking about right now are like cartoon animations.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So in terms of more realistic animations, right now I think my biggest inspiration is the guy who did Astartes.
Oh yeah.
If you guys haven't watched Astartes, you should. Astartes is a fellow 3D artist, and he has.
It's not a guy we know, by the way.
We don't know. We have never met the guy, but
if you're listening, hit us up.
So what it is Astartes is a Warhammer 40k animation with these like I don't have a lot of knowledge in the Warhammer universe, but it's these giant paladin soldiers that are sent off into a space station to. I actually don't know what the hell they're doing, but
there's a lot of like
they have a mission.
Environment. Like there's not much being told to you, if anything at all. You just have to glean it from either knowing the lore or just
there actually aren't anyone speaking.
Right?
For the whole thing, there's no dialogue or monologue.
And the crazy thing about this is it's all made by one guy. I think in the later episodes he has gotten some help by other people. But I think it's still him that composed everything and put everything together. And,
do you think Twitch would allow it if we pull it up on Discord?
Well, I'm showing it actually right now on my.
Can you share it on the Discord?
Yes, I'm sharing my screen.
Sweet.
Let's take a quick look at what Astartes is.
Hell yeah. Oh, part 5. All right. I heard many theories about this one, about what's actually happening here. Of course, sifting through many memes of the reason
Yeah.
they're being there to be is to eradicate the furries. It is not that, but they are here to
And no,
investigate
the thing with
precursor.
the Warhammer guys and the furries, that's only NG.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh man,
But
that is some childhood. Anyway,
But Astartes is a masterpiece of cinematography and 3D animation, in my opinion.
I think so.
You can have a whole masterclass on how this movie was made and put
Yeah.
together. It's
Oh,
just
man,
like the suspense that you feel and the awe that you feel with everything you see is just incredible. This is something
Yeah.
like I dream to
Yeah.
achieve one day.
Yeah. It's the kind of storytelling you'd like to have in this short movie, by the way.
Sorry?
The kind of storytelling you would like to have in the story movie, like short film we're making right now, for example.
I don't know. This quality maybe like the quality of the storytelling, but it doesn't have to be this style. And I have no idea
Yeah,
what this movie is going to be. If it's going to be a dark themed, something realistic,
It could be anything at this
completely
point.
cartoony animation. I don't know.
All right.
And I want us to find this out together.
We'll figure it out over time. I was just thinking about the storytelling part of it being like it's like no words are being spoken. It's just all context. You get to have the camera show you what's important. You see these,
I
these
think
people interacting.
I think so.
So-
Yes, I think the I think the best idea would be to go without words.
It's like full show don't tell kind of thing
Yeah.
going on here.
Hmm.
And even though if we don't know the lore of what's happening here, we do get that they have an agenda. These guys, right?
Yeah.
They want this big sphere. They walk past
Yeah, I
this,
think
this important metal man before, who's probably linked to this guy in some way, and now they're gonna start messing with some things they don't really understand, right?
I think what it is with these guys is that they're like crusaders,
Yeah,
like a sci-fi version of crusaders.
yeah, that's plausible.
I
That
have
is
no
possible.
idea.
That is
I
very accurate.
I
Like
have
all
no
the
idea
references
about
and the memes I've seen about these guys is all like, purge the heretics. We must do this for the empire.
Yeah, right. They have some, if I remember correctly, they all serve this emperor who is linked up to a lot of cables and tubes somewhere on his throne, where he's
Yeah.
being fed like thousands of dead people every single day just to maintain his life force. And they have to go around like, sacrificing people or enemies of the empire just to also maintain their emperor, right?
Mm.
So everyone in the Warhammer universe is evil, by the way. Like there's no, there's no
Okay.
like everyone just sacrifices people in the name of the emperor, or it's like tyrannids, which are basically probably one of the best, like the most good people or neutral people, because they are just going in as the aliens from like xenomorphic type of universe, where they go in, they take over planets, and they just eat everything like an animal, carnivorous beasts, you know. They're mostly neutral. Everyone else is just in it for themselves, and they will kill, maim, and slaughter to get their way. So
I don't know. You could be saying something completely that makes no sense right now, and I would believe you.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I have very limited understandings of Warhammer 40k, but I think it's cool, and I've seen a few videos about these guys specifically. I don't know if it's anyone out there listening to say something completely wrong. I'll take it. Like, oh shit, I'm spreading misinformation. I'm sorry about it.
But yeah, this is so cool. But let's move on, because I could watch this all day. But
Yeah, of course. So this was just an example of
More realistic animation.
Yeah.
Like.
okay. Any other things you want to share, Daniel?
No, I think that's about it.
All right.
Then I think it's
Or what I love doing in 3D work. Well, I do like texturing too, but not as much just animation.
It's like seeing a low art piece come to to life on a. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
the texture.
definitely. It is funny. Funny. Yeah, it is actually funny to see how a 3D model that just looks like plastic, or not even plastic, can suddenly turn into something that looks real.
Actually, Daniel, would you like to share your screen and show us some of your work?
Yeah, I could do that.
Maybe
Let me
ArtStation or something. I don't know.
Let me just see if I have some renders lying here. Of course, the thing takes ages to load up. Oh my goodness. Now you guys just talk while I try to find some renders here.
Hey, I just got a new follower, Marcy.
Hey.
147. Thank you very much for following.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know if you're watching from YouTube or Twitch. I think you're watching from Twitch, otherwise you would be subscribed. But thank you so much. Welcome.
Very nice.
Show us your stuff, Daxis.
Right off the bat, okay, so just a quick one is a Claymore sword that I made like a long time ago. This one here.
Oh, when did you make that?
I can't remember when I made it, but I did use it for our competence project.
Oh, okay. That's not too long ago then. So what was it?
And other than that, let me just look at ArtStation.
What was this Claymore for?
Oh, I'm not locked in.
Like, what was the scene here? Was it a weapon someone used, or was it a prop? What kind of thing?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a prop, you know.
It's really cool. Looks like something I could see in all my favorite RPGs. Like, I would definitely see this in like a Witcher game or something like that. I don't know. It could be Skyrim at least for sure. But that was referring to the sword and stuff. I know that. It's just like I would definitely download this mod.
All right.
Yeah, so maybe let's get swords.
And Discord.
Or maybe Kingdom Come, but I haven't played that game yet.
Which one?
All right.
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
ArtStation. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
So yeah, the first things we actually did make.
I think you should just
project.
go to
Remember
your
that?
profile. I think you're in edit profile right now. You should probably go out of that. So you don't...
Shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
View profile.
Yes.
So yeah, we had the vehicle project we made.
Oh, and this was the very beginning.
When we just started.
Still at 3ds Max, right?
Yeah, this is the very first thing we did actually in 3D, apart from some tutorials.
I tried to take some inspiration from, or actually, like, just completely rip off Fallout and make what are they called? Deathclaw skull. This one.
Yeah, you did some sculpting on that or what?
No, I didn't.
No,
that was
hard surface.
Hard surface modeling.
Surface
Yeah,
model.
it's really cool. I like the minigun. I think the minigun is the.
It just looks like William said. It looks extremely clean.
Yeah.
They polished just that part.
That's just because the specularity was so goddamn high.
But see, you can see like this, that you can tell that this is your first. If you scroll a bit up again to the previous picture, this is your. You can tell this is your first project. There's a mess with the textures in the background, like it's tile texture 50 times on a single spot.
And if you also look at the glass texture.
There's so many things that you didn't know how to do back then. And
exactly.
And
I think there's even some geometry penetration.
Oh, definitely. Geometry penetration is fine. As long as it doesn't show.
Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's okay.
When it doesn't show, it's good.
Yeah. And also, I don't know what the hell is happening right there.
Looks like a white part. Looks like a normal map issue.
Yeah. And then I forgot to soft harden edge right here.
Yeah. Anyway,
what else did we make? Yeah. Okay. So we also made the post-apocalypse project. Like, this is not the picture I had in my mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, man, but this is horrible.
It is. It is.
It's some work.
Yeah, that was again the second thing we did, right? The second
Yeah,
project.
yeah.
It's a much bigger project.
Yeah,
way bigger
I've also
scope.
done some sketches.
Oh yeah, that's nice. So
I think you should show Volcornia.
Oh, wait a minute. Before we move on to him,
Oh yeah.
the
very first
fucking character project. It's horrible.
It was also before we learned sculpting, so we just started doing hard surface modeling immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is hard model.
These characters were made in hard surface.
In Maya, right?
In Maya, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like, oh, goddamn.
I'm pretty new to it also at this point.
I can't. Wait, that's an action pose?
What are you doing? Like, oh, let's just be putting.
It's karate chopping.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It was like open fingers. I love it.
But yeah, okay. So on to the sculpting part.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Things
really well
start
done.
getting good here.
I was very impressed with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really think you have
sculpting. Actually, Costin, you were the one who made the skull.
Oh, I was. Oh, cool.
Yeah. I borrowed it for my sculpt model.
I didn't remember that.
Mm.
Thanks for the credit.
And when we had Danko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it wants to load.
Danko, okay. Before you continue, let's give an homage to Danko. Like this is, he needs the praise. Well, probably everyone knows him, but he was our teacher, and I want to show that off. So Daniele Danko Angeliosi, I believe it's his full name.
Oh geez, I just noticed that people on the stream here has not been able to see anything I've just shared. Wait, hold on. I'm just gonna add that real quick.
He is an incredible miniature and collectibles artist, an incredible sculptor. He did this bat thing in the summer break, just like after a few days, and I have the privilege to have him as my supervisor in this sixth semester project, and I couldn't be happier. He's the best supervisor ever. He gives the best advice, and Daniel, take it away.
Yeah. Okay, I've just made sure that people on stream can actually see what I'm talking about right now. So yeah, this is the project that we made with Danko. We were supposed to go onto ArtStation and look up Johannes Helgesen.
Yeah.
Incredible 2D artist.
Yeah, concept artist, I think.
Yeah. And yeah, I found this artwork called Wolf Girl.
I really like this character.
Yeah.
I think it's a
I like you know me. I'm immediately on board with the edgy. Okay, just to do a quick review of what I showed earlier, the vehicle project, the post-apocalypse.
Very first project.
Yep, sketches, or one of my sketches.
Yeah.
First character.
Yeah, and then immediately into sculpting afterwards.
First 3D sculpt, which immediately just got so much better.
Yeah.
And then the project with Danko.
No, it's the power.
All of this was made in the software ZBrush.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing: if you want ZBrush for yourself, it's expensive, man.
It's actually not that expensive if you do the subscription thing. It's not that expensive at all, actually. It's one of the cheapest programs you can use, the 3D software you can get.
Yeah, but still, if you don't really have the money to start out with,
start with Blender. Blender is also an incredibly it's an amazing sculpting software as well as for hard surface.
Yep.
Blender can do anything, and I actually think that we should try to use Blender for this project because so we can monetize it eventually, maybe.
Sure, we can talk about that.
Last thing is that thing, but textured.
Yeah.
Which I really like these renders, man. the blade
Yeah,
really
really
came
cool.
out great.
It's really cool.
It was actually Michael who helped me with that.
yeah. Also another student.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Really-
talented.
really
What
Very
I really
talented.
like about these renders
3D artist.
is that while he doesn't look realistic, he looks like some sort of collectible figure.
Yeah,
you
it looks
could
like a
have.
miniature. Yeah, it
And-
really does.
And that's also why I chose to 3D print it.
Yeah.
It turned
uh,
horrible.
It turned out horrible, but I 3D printed it so I could use it for D&D.
Hell yeah,
Dungeons
one of
and
the
Dragons.
Dungeons and
that's
Dragons
and-
nerds.
hell
He
yeah.
ended up becoming the main antagonist.
Yeah.
Volcornia.
The All
DMing.
Father of Death,
Hmm.
I think. Yeah, the All Father of Death and Chaos.
Cool.
Very
Thank you, Daniel, for sharing, because
That's very
sharing
cool.
is caring. And I think Anna should take over.
Oh, okay. So a little bit about what I do.
Yeah.
I'm actually a bit of a generalist. I would like to think at this point.
Mhm.
I can do a little bit of everything. Whenever we've done a project, I've been on the technical side though, and because of that, I've delved into even more technical parts of the basic three. And when I say the basic three, I mean the modeling, the rigging, and the animation. Those are like the three major ones you need. But I've decided to try and top up those three by getting into simulations and VFX stuff. So that is going into Houdini. That is just getting used to the Unreal Engine and the and Unity. We've also used to have some particle effects. Getting used to that kind of thing, which I gotta admit, I'm pretty new to it. I can't boast having done anything that's really beautiful yet. I have done a third semester exam on the in VFX and putting like clothing on an animated character, but there's still a long way for me to go at this point in time. Though I'm doing grooming for hair and clothing again for my 6th semester bachelor project, and I am counting on going that route to give that extra oomph to animations in the future. Hopefully, because what I really like, also when I look at movies, is to see the buildings crumble, the explosion from things. You know, I'm all Michael Bay. I like a good firework. And
Get the
that
fuck
might
out.
I know that might be very, very scared of me being on the board of storyboarding here. But trust me, I do also value good characters and good storytelling. It is just I like to give it the reason for the camera shake. I like to make just simulations in general. I think really lifts up many things in every movie.
It really does.
So because sorry.
And going back to Pixar, actually, and any animation, like by this time, most animations when they feature and animation movies, when they animate characters, they do use muscle simulation, and they all use cloth simulation and other hair simulation. It's not just for realism, and it can really do a lot for
Yeah. You see it always elevate the animation so much more. Also, when you, if you've ever come across some people talking about, let's say the Pixar movies, there's always people appraising the attention to detail in clothing, having like little pieces of hair sticking out, like there's something to the material that's much more physical than just the texture. Like these days, you can put so much more detail into your 3D model, so you can really get a zoom in on the things and see them, like split the lighting and make it pop, looking realistic. Even in a cartoon movie, you can make it look like, oh, this looks like real fabric, and it still sells the cartoon style, I think. So
I think
I want to get it.
you can really see that in The Incredibles 2.
Yeah, The Incredibles too. For sure, when you look at like a close-up of Mr. Incredible's shirt, for sure, that was one of the things that a lot of people have pointed out, and I also have been very fascinated by when I saw it. Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah.
You're watching right now. So there's that, and also I was very fascinated with the power of hair. And when I say that, I mean like especially in like the movies like Tangled. Tangled really has just going all out on the hair and animation and physics of it, which is at this point in time for me it's still magic. I can't break it down to how they did it, but I can started on seeing how they would do a piece of the hair working. If you've seen any breakdowns of it, it seems like they have also just broken the hair into many pieces and make like snakes of splines that's going
Yeah.
everywhere. It's just
There's
it's just all over
actually
the
a common misconception about how hair is animated because usually when you hear about hair animation in behind the scenes, they're like, we animated 50 million individual hairs and now you don't have to animate every single hair.
No,
But many times, like for example in Brave, like I see here on the screen, they had to animate a lot of guides, and you have guides that control certain amount of hair and that the weight moves, and like if it's, and you can see that if you look the first Incredibles movie, their hair is so simple, it's super straight, and as you go farther down in the with newer and newer technology and newer movies, the hair gets more dynamic and real, and it really gives a lot.
I remember I saw they were talking about how they made Violet from the Incredibles hair. They had to invent a whole new system, and I'm not gonna make any speculations on if that was the beginning of X Gen or whatever, but it was definitely the beginning of some like long hair simulations and
Yeah.
how they were gonna do that in at least for Disney and Pixar movies to come. That's what I've heard anyway. Also, for future movies that's come out recently, uh, I've been looking at a lot of that, and I've been talking to my supervisor for this semester. Her name is Beck Selmas, and if you don't know who that is, it is it's a teacher at Trumax who teaches Houdini and simulations and Vellum. Unfortunately, we didn't have her; we had someone else. But she's my supervisor right now. She's been working on multiple Netflix shows and doing actual realistic rooms and also simulations. And she says that a lot of CFX work, which is what it's called, is a lot of you listen to what your director wants, and then they approve animations, and then you figure out later down the line that you can't put clothing on this thing, you can't put hair on this thing. It's just impossible to to even put, because it penetrates itself with geometry and the hair, and no one took
Now that you say
cared
that,
about like some brave, huge hair. No one cared that that her arms might go through it, and then you just have to work with it. So like Brave's hair, for example, also you saw in the little preview of the creation of it, some of her hair would fall over her eyes. That is all something you change in post or in the animation. You have to relax them away. You have to like blend them out of the way afterwards. So even when you simulated this as best you can, there's still a lot of cleanup to be done.
yeah.
Which is something that I also have to get into very soon with the 6th semester project. So I'm excited though.
And now that you said that, I remember I was watching the behind the scenes of Coco for another Pixar movie, and how when they went to the world of the dead, and they had to dress up the skeletons, the clothes kept clumping together between the bones, and it was hell. They had to again invent new technology to find to get to find a solution to that.
I believe it. But as my supervisor says, well, that's just the bread and butter of CFX work. It's always working off the things that people want you to do and just try to go with it, do your best with what you get. Everybody assumes that you just apply it and it works. But we'll see. I'm excited to be on this small team to get some opinions through to the main cast of characters making this. So maybe we can help each other a little bit here.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to tell us about something else that inspires you, or do you want to show us your work?
I would show you my work, but I don't really have much to show as it is right now. I've not been very diligent with showing it off, and that is a flaw of me as an artist. I just don't really feel compelled to show it off, and also I've been very technically minded on many things. So the things I could show you are basically the models and hard work of other really talented artists that I've just meddled a little bit with encoding and making them work, like a door, for example, slamming and opening. Working with setting up video game scenes, stuff like that. So I could show my work in the sense that I could show off the games we have made, but it would not be very. I don't think it would be honest to showcase what I have done.
Okay.
It's just always.
It's up to you.
Today, I'll say no thanks to that.
Okay. Well, then I will start with me. Hello, everybody. I'm Costas, and I'm an alcoholic. No, I'm not an alcoholic, actually. Don't drink a lot of alcohol.
No, there's something much worse.
Yeah. I'm a white man.
Well, dang.
And in case you haven't realized and put two and two together so far, based on my supervisor and the things that I like, I'm a sculptor. I love sculpting, and I am actually starting a few things on the side now. Like trying to start a small business of making portraits, stylized portraits for friends and family and people who want them so far. I have two heroes in the sculpting. Like my two biggest heroes are of course Michelangelo, the god, the man, the legend. Old school. I've been fascinated with sculpting. I actually a bit not that long ago I found a clip of me from when I was 12 in my school. It was like a graduation. I was graduating from 6th grade to go to the big boys school, you know. And so they got us all together and they filmed us and they asked us, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And at 12 years old, I said I want to be a sculptor. And I forgot about that then. And over the years, I had many different ideas for what I want to do when I grow up. But I ended up here and it wasn't even the plan. And I think there's something beautiful about that. Sculpting is not the only thing I like, though. I like modeling. I really enjoy modeling and all the struggles that come with it, like unwrapping and texturing. I used to really dislike texturing. And you know how there's something that you're not really good at and therefore you dislike it. And then I sat down and I did a texture, what is it called? Study in a way. It was for a project for the project that Anna's you're working on right now with our friend. And it was, I really enjoyed it, and I'm gonna show it here. It was. Let me share my screen.
Not to interrupt, but I really need to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Okay. Let's have a 10-minute break, and let's pick it up in 10 minutes at 8.
Sure.
All right.
See you then.
some other stuff from my Facebook account that I just downloaded and put into a folder.
Okay, then you
But yeah,
show...
you continue.
Okay.
Gunther.
So yeah, so I did this texturing study, you can say, where I tried to make a realistic paint texture on this robot that, from what I heard, the character was this robot that was very clumsy and always banging itself on the walls, and so it was painted on by its owner multiple times, and it had graffiti on as well.
Yeah.
So let me share my, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I did this layered thing, where I painstakingly drew every single detail on by hand, with different layers, and you can actually see all the layers here.
Yeah.
So this is the base layer, it's just some metal layer with
Yeah.
a scratch map.
Yeah.
And then
There is, when you're working in Substance Painter, there is an easier way to do.
oh yes, there is. You can make a smart material, but I think this is you have to have some knowledge about Substance Designer.
Not really, actually. When we were doing the Daddio project,
Yeah.
which, by the way, you should check out our the games we made. It's up on itch.io.
Yeah.
You just search up Daddio on there, and you should find the ones from 2020. Anyway, one of the guys I worked with, his name was Andreas. He showed me how to use smart masks in Substance Painter, which actually made me able to achieve that level of detail that
Really?
you've made. Alpha. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet there is a better way to do this than doing it by hand. But it was a very fun process. I spent a whole day on this, and I put different layers on and paint them off as well, like by hand, and then I drew.
Paint going on the thing.
Sorry.
I love the fact that you can see there was different layers of paint going on, and it's been scraped off. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue was probably the main color first, and then she sprayed it with pink, or whatever, and you know that little graffiti thing.
It was a lot of fun, and I made the graffiti in Photoshop and just pasted on there, and then I put some dirt and smudges on, and
That's the thing I really find amazing about this piece of artwork, is that the graffiti, the Outcasts graffiti you've made, like you had no knowledge about graffiti when you made this.
No, I just went on a Google search and searched on graffiti, found something that I liked, and tried to imitate the style. I already had the O with the thing on, like with the play thing from Oliver, the creator of this project, and.
Yeah, so that's not like a PNG image he found on Google search. Like he made this from scratch in Photoshop. I think that's amazing. With like no knowledge about like graffiti work at all, graffiti art.
And that goes to show, you know, great artist work is finding things and stealing it.
It's true. It's so true. Not necessarily
is
stealing it, but modifying. You get inspired by things and trying to figure out how they did something and what is it that makes this artwork specific. And
it actually, it leads me a bit up to talk about research.
I mean, Danko said that to us, but
yeah, true.
Steal.
when you're starting a project, you have to start out with research.
Yeah,
true.
Something yes, and this is something that took me 3 years to learn here on Trumax, that the research is the most important, crucial part of making a good product. I've been working on a sculpt for my 6th semester project, and which is just a woman and a lizard, right, in some water, and you could have said that you can just do that, but I did more research on that project than I have done in whole short films and game projects and stuff that we have done through the school.
Can
And
you pull that up real quick so we can see it?
yeah, for sure. I'm connected to the VPN. Let me pull that up.
I mean, as a technical guy, I gotta say, also looking up things and doing research is some of the most fun part of making a
It
new
is.
project.
It's so fun.
You
It's
get
not-
to see the things say like, it goes click and it just works, and you see, oh shit, you learned something, and then it's magical.
It really is. So this is the Headless Beast. No, let me.
I really okay. I was about to say, I hope Twitch doesn't take us down for this.
It's a butt.
But yeah, this is the my 6th semester project so far. I've been working 2 months now on this, right? Has been about 2 months.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I go deep into detail with stuff. And actually, I recently finished working on the hand.
I like.
I will say that's some really good details on the hand.
Yeah,
And
it's all physical. Like it's no texture.
yeah, everything is done with brushes and strokes and stuff.
And you can also see up here where it says active points, total points right here. That's the total amount of polygons in the scene, like 3.9 million polygons.
Yeah. And it's gonna get higher, and this is not even finished. This is not even finished. This is still this still has to be rendered. This is still dynameshed. But yes, and I have the amount of reference images I have for this project is I never thought I would have so many references. Let me pull up my reference thing. I'm gonna do a very far zoom in from zoom from the
I'm
reference.
about to say, as long as there's no nudity.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna do very zoom
Are we allowed to
out.
say it's off, or is that supposed to be kept on the down low?
Sorry.
Are we allowed to talk about who the sculpt is of?
No. I don't want to
No,
take any chances.
No, that's fine.
Let's
mean,
not do
And
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you
I
can
think it's real sweet.
you can see. So this is the amount of images I have for this sculpt, and
Yeah.
I have divided I'm very zoomed out so people don't see what it is, but it's like head, body, like arms.
Okay,
it's
so
like,
all of these small squares you're seeing here, those are all images.
yes, it's
These are all the images he's using for reference.
it's over. I think it's about 300-400 images just for that thing, and I need more.
There's still angles you can't.
That's the thing. You can never have enough reference.
Exactly. The best reference is a 3D model, but when you making a 3D model, you don't have a 3D model for reference unless it's you have a life size thing. But
How did you start out with that sculpt anyway?
Sorry.
How did you start out with that sculpt anyway? Well, like when you started the sculpt, not when you started the reference. I know how you started the reference.
So I actually started with. Let me see. I have some.
Was it something that you took? You took like a rigged character and posted?
Yes, I have some screenshots here. So what I did was I took this rigged character from a body mesh pack. which is a pack of a set of rigs that you can animate. And actually, I think this is the one you're using as well for your.
Yeah, I'm using that
yeah.
for my animation project.
And this was like one of the first iterations of the pose, and then I had different things, and we worked so much with Danko trying to figure out the exact pose. And actually, I have a screenshot of Danko here also. There he is.
Hey, there he is. There's Danko.
There's Danko. So I'm not lying. This is it's actually him. And but the problem with this was that the proportions are completely unrealistic. The feet are very small, the hands are giant, the head is giant, everything is completely unrealistic. So I took this as a basis, and I basically sculpted my way to this. And
yeah, so you put mesh on top of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And broke it apart, and I broke it apart so many times. This was the very first thing I did in ZBrush.
Yeah. Oh, it's like a quick blockout kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And there's still so much more work to do, and I sometimes I feel like I'm drowning. I don't have time.
I'm getting so nervous every time there's a picture of the butt and boobs.
It's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be fine.
It's not a real butt.
It's not a real butt. It's a sculpted butt.
Twitch, please. It's not real.
But since we're talking about butts, let me show you something now. Actually, I want to talk a bit about my background and how I came to do the 3D work.
Mm-hmm.
My father is a painter.
Heyo.
So
I saw that.
Yes, my father is a painter, and so I grew up in an environment where since I was a kid I had to I learned how to draw and paint, and that was very nice. But I always said to myself that I would be an academic. I wanted to, when I was a kid, like every other little boy, when I wanted to be an astronaut. Then I wanted to be an archaeologist, and then I said, well, architecture is pretty close to archaeology, right? So no, but but then I went to high school, and I went on a very academic line with maths and physics, and because I really like those subjects as well. But so I decided, I said, okay, I'm gonna become an architect. And then I read into that, and I realized that architects really have to write a lot, and I hate writing things. Reports, not write. No, I don't hate writing. I love writing stories, for example, but I hate writing reports and stupid stuff. And I'm like, you know what has less writing? Engineering. Said no one ever, but that's what I said.
No numbers, only exclusively words.
Yeah. So I said, okay, I'm gonna be an engineer, and I strived to that. But then before I finished high school, I got some design lessons as part of my high school education, and I really liked that. And I did a bit of 3D, like industrial design, and I really liked that. And then I was working at a clothing store at that time. And it was a chain, and one of the stores closed down that was in a different city, and one of the employees came to our store, and that guy was a student at Trumax, and he told me about Trumax and about what it is, and where that you can learn how to make movies. And then I looked back in my life, and the things that I enjoyed the most spending my time with was writing books and stories, and also what is it called? Watching the behind the scenes of movies.
Yeah.
So I paid a visit to Trumax, and I met William, an incredible teacher we have over there, and I saw the school, and I was like, this looks like one of those behind the scenes thing. I want to
It
be
really
here.
was.
There was a studio, there was green screens, there were computers everywhere, Wacom tablets, and like, yes, I love this. So I said, fuck it. I don't care that I live in Denmark and education should be free. I'm gonna pay a lot of money to go to school.
Yeah.
And after the
I mean-
year, when the loan starts to come in and give us massive debt, but we'll get to
We'll get to that later. That's just part of being an artist, okay?
Massive depth. Soul-crushing depth.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to ruin your day, guys.
Oh, can't wait.
No, I distinctly remember when I was a kid, like I kept talking about how I wanted to be a chef.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That ended up becoming my dad.
Fair
My
enough.
dad is a chef now, and like I kept going in between like what I really wanted to do. Like I was also into coding at one point, coding websites.
Mm.
I can't remember what the school was called. But yeah, I have like the basic knowledge in coding a website.
That's always useful.
Yeah.
Always. But yeah, it's been roughly 10 years I've been walking around. 10, 11 years I've been walking around not knowing what I wanted to do.
And you know, that's
Until I met William, one of our teachers, and he gave me like a pamphlet for Trumax Academy. And like I found it on accident in my jacket pocket, and I was like, huh, that's interesting.
I think that goes for all three of us. That it's it's been a journey of on and off work, doing many different things, and then all of a sudden, oh hey, there's this thing called Trumax.
Yeah.
Doing,
The magical place where dreams come true.
And where your debt only gets bigger and bigger.
yeah, well, you know, there's always the boring marketing part of the fun artist stuff, but we do look forward to the process of making and creating things, you know, that are supposed to hopefully entertain a lot of people.
Yeah.
I will say though, now that we're talking about like debt for going to the school, that we're actually in a pretty good spot. Given
Before you continue, I wanna say I had a comment. I'm gonna butcher your name, but I don't know, Nabilgor Hansen. I don't know. He says that one viewer on YouTube. Thank you. It's very appreciated, and you are very welcome to stick around and bring your friends.
yeah,
Anyway, I didn't want to assume you have friends, but dissing your viewers already? Fuck!
bye.
Okay, bye, I'm leaving now.
You are our friend now.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome to the stream.
You're one of us now.
Yeah. Whoa, no, boss.
Yeah, so what I was saying was that our situation is really not that bad.
Oh, in comparison
in comparison to other schools where you have to pay to go there, we're in a pretty good spot.
I have a friend from Japan who wants to come and study here, and we actually pay exactly what people outside of Europe pay to come to study in Denmark.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
I did.
So technically, it's as if we're studying abroad and we're not from Europe. So it's not terrible, and it's actually one of the cheapest schools in the world when it comes to 3D.
But still pretty high on the list of quality that they make. And this is what they told when I came in. They were like, was it number 7? Or something?
Yeah, we when a year before I joined Trumax, Trumax was in the top 10 in the world. Yeah. But so let's go back and I'll show you some of my work.
Movies.
In movies.
Get those away.
So this is because
Oh hey, Oliver joined.
Hey Oliver.
How's it going, man? Welcome.
So this is actually something I did almost 9 years ago. I was 14, I believe. This is a painting 90 by 65. It's made with acrylic, and it was kind of a side project after school. I was doing at my father's workshop, and this is basically to show what I learned from my dad before I even went to study art.
Yeah, you went into anatomy early.
Yeah.
Mm.
Here we have my second project at Trumax. You get to see some 3D. This is the post-apocalyptic project. Everyone hated it because they were like, "This is not post-apocalypse." No, they hated the fact that this doesn't look like post-apocalypse. I took the theme and I was looking around in the class, and everyone was making something with war, something with nuclear things
Because that's the first thing that comes to mind
exactly
when
right. It's natural disasters, and I thought, what if we took it from a perspective of small people, and that's why I actually have the Gulliver's Travels and the book over here, which is this normal person who stumbled upon some tiny people. And I used cigarette packs and what is it called, matches.
There's a lot of fun ideas going on here because you can see that they're everyday items that little people or whatever has been putting in as instead of lamplights. I guess that's what it was, right?
Yeah. They have matches.
Yeah.
And there's a fork in the back here, and this is a footprint.
Like very organized people, but I think what lacked in the post-apocalypse was the fact that it still looks like it's a functioning city. There's just a footprint.
Oliver Lund is following me. Thank you, Oliver.
Hey!
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Hey.
Fuck yeah. But yeah, I actually the biggest mistake, the biggest flaw in this picture is this carriage, because it has the textures, and it looks like it's a normal size carriage.
It does. It looks like a nice carriage, though.
It is a pretty nice carriage, but it looks out of place. It kind of confuses the viewer, because the textures are very small, and they're using small and thin materials that are like, okay, how do you make this when you're so tiny, right? This is my very first project. It's a spinner from Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, Blade Runner.
The newer Blade Runner. And this was a horrible model when it comes to wireframe, I believe. And I didn't show the wireframe because it was so horrible.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I do distinctly remember that it was bugging you.
It took me so long time to get those shapes, and I think there's so many times where I think I really want to redo this car and try to make it good.
You didn't model the interior, did you?
No, I didn't finish the exterior. The exterior is not finished. There's not a wheel in the back.
I mean, I haven't watched Blade Runner, so I wouldn't know.
There's so many things that are missing from this thing, but it kind of works. This is the first project I did in Maya. I'm actually very proud of this, even though there's a lot of mistakes.
Nice.
The shiny
Nightmare
Before Christmas, taking this reference from Wallace and Gromit in The Curse of the Were Rabbit. We had how many 6 weeks to make this project. I spent 3 of those weeks making the car.
Which was a really nice car.
Yeah, I mean the car was also like the center focus.
True.
Yeah.
The whole image. So.
And
I think you nailed that, though.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's really good.
And again, you have a lot of details that you cannot see. For example, this little house. I spent so much time making this house, and you cannot even see it as much. Like the house is back here, and it's like, what? It doesn't even have
struggle of post editing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's there.
And I actually really like this turntable. So to make something, made out of clay or something. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah. So and then we have this was for fourth semester in Trumax where I had to make some sketches for
Oh,
Rococo.
Don't remind me, fourth semester. Oh my god.
It was for a video game engine.
Yes, it was for Unreal Engine. We had to make 12 characters and 5 sets for people who bought the Rococo suit, which is a motion capture suit, and that would come with the suit, so you can get into those characters by wearing the suit and act scenes out. It actually turned out very very well, that project, but these were the first sketches I did for that project to make to come to determine the style of the characters.
I actually want to give a little shout out to Alexander, who did the sketches for that project.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Alexander Gildevik.
Jadovich should.
I don't know.
How do you pronounce his name?
I don't know.
Nothing.
I actually think I have those here. Let me see if I can find them. Semester 4 story cards. Yes.
Yeah.
So I actually made and wrote the stories because every character had to have a name and a personality. So I wrote the stories and I used his sketches to make those cards. So this is, for example, Betty Hill, beautiful and dressed to impress. Everything she owns has to come from one or another family for another of her suitors. Outgoing, well-spoken, and well-behaved. She isn't the jealous type, but she can be if she's in her interest. So yeah, basically it was like these. And
So
these are
Alexander did all of these sketches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty cool project to work on, but it was in the beginning of the whole pandemic, and it was the first time we had to work from home. It was a whole challenge.
A lot of things to do. Okay.
This is one of my favorite works.
One of your best sculpts.
Yeah,
cool, right?
one of my best sculpts. Yeah. This is again third semester, like we saw with the witch from Daniel, with Danko's supervision. I actually have it printed out and have it in my room. I really love this sculpt. And I took the concept of this guy and I made him in 3D. We got a week to do this, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And then I made a good render in Maya. It was very nice. We talked about this and boobies.
Hey, wait, hey, get that away, get it away.
Okay.
Oh.
Where's the? This is not Twitch friendly.
It's okay.
Or YouTube friendly.
I actually have a few other things that I don't show in my ArtStation. For example, the commercial. This was a horrible project. This was my very first paid project. I was commissioned to make a commercial for this company, Prismian Group, who sells cables and stuff like that. Like it's the biggest cable company in the world, actually.
Yeah.
And
Oliver, I know you saw that, but ignore it. don't report this.
But yeah, this project, it started very well. I had tons of time to do it, and then one day, 1 week before the submission, no, 3 week, what was it? No, 1 week before the submission of our third semester project, the woman who hired me, she calls me up and she says, hey, I'm not gonna be working here anymore in this company, so I need this to be done in a week. And I'm like, I'm still in the concept phase. Okay. So I had to learn how to use Blender because they had real-time rendering, and do a 30-second commercial. I think I can find it. It's so horrible. A 30-second commercial with water simulation and all animations I had to do. The only thing I had done was modeling, so I had to do texturing, water simulation, animation, rendering, and composition,
So you ended
compositing.
up making a new water simulation. You didn't use the one I made.
It was in Blender. You couldn't use that.
I think it disappeared.
Yeah, I made a water simulation in Maya.
Yeah. Yeah, you made it in Maya with Arnold, and that was great, and I really wanted to use that, but yeah, they fucked it up.
I think I have that one lying around too. Like I did a render of it.
So this is what I did in this 1 week.
You know, in a week,
Yeah.
I was impressed, especially by the fact that you had no clue how to do most of the things, like the water sim, how are you going to make that work? There's a lot of new things. New
I was
actually
actually working from 9 in the morning until 3 in the morning the next day, every day for 5 days. And I did that, and I actually delivered it as my third semester project, and I got a 0.2. I barely passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you just disappeared from the
Yeah.
for that entire week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was actually another paid work I did for a Danish comic artist, Simon. What's his name? Simon Petersen.
What comics he made?
Sorry?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with him. What comics did he make?
He makes those black and white, very quick comics for newspapers and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Where he wanted an avatar, and he gave me this sketch over here, and I turned him into a 3D character.
Yeah.
And this here was my first sculpt, the Sinner, that I did for the game project in second semester.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the first time you used ZBrush, right?
Yeah, that was. Well, okay, actually, I have saved here the very first time I used ZBrush.
Oh my god, you cheater.
It was the first time I actually used, I had used ZBrush, I had opened ZBrush before and tried to sculpt Henry Cavill. Yes, personal projects.
It's not your Henry Cavill, though.
Oh, this is not gonna look like Henry Cavill, guys. Spoiler alert.
Well, I mean,
No,
to be fair, Henry Cavill is very sculptable.
He looks sculpted.
Yes, but for a
That
person
guy
who has never
is out
sculpted
of
before,
granite.
this is what Henry Cavill looks like.
That is his work, but as an Eastern Island statue.
I'm sorry, Geralt of Rivia who?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't he beautiful?
He'd look at that picture and he's kind of like, fuck. That's like big old.
Nope.
Nope. But yeah. Ooh. Oh, that was really bad.
Oh well, it was a pet project.
Yeah. But yeah, then I did this, and it was pretty cool. I actually modeled the skeleton and then every single muscle on top
I remember that.
to get this very skinny look.
Started from the bottom.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool experience. And the last one, this is my very first character in Maya.
Oh yeah, you're Mushroom Man.
Mushroom Man. Yeah, you cannot zoom in more than that.
Tallest guy in a class picture.
Yeah. He had a very nice butt. That guy.
Yeah.
The best butt ever.
It was Someone was saying that he was like Groot, but
Yeah, it was actually inspired by Groot with the long fingers and the tall head, but he was a mushroom.
So Ryan was gonna be a D&D character as well, right? First up.
Oh yes! Oh my God, I forgot about. And I actually, yeah, he was with Geralt actually. You know the walking house. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. He was.
Hold on, what?
It
Came as
was.
a character.
Yeah, it was my first. It was my first campaign.
Right.
Where I don't think you were part of it yet, Daniel.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
That makes sense.
It was like they went into a mystical enchanted forest where they had this house friend. It was a house where it was walking on chicken legs.
This was back with. No, that was Anas's campaign with Morgo killed your family.
No, that was my campaign. That was my campaign.
If you remember that, Oliver.
Yeah, that was my campaign actually. It was the same campaign, but I think you joined a bit later.
Oh yeah, you came into.
Yeah, I borrowed one of the character sheets.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
got
think so.
Christian's character sheet where he was playing Vlad of Dragovich, which was a vampire.
I made the most stereotypical
Dwarf.
Romanian
yeah.
accent ever.
Baron.
You know, that typical Dracula, I want to suck your blood.
Oh,
Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Oh man, it's been a while.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
In a
Anyway.
galaxy far away.
No disrespect to the Romanian people.
Oh, no.
Okay, Daniel, I don't know if you want to show this stuff that you found,
Yeah, I can do that.
and then we can have another break when you're done, and then we can start actually working on this project.
Let me just see here. Okay. Live. I need to go here. Go to
Bloody soldier.
recording. Actually. Shit. OBS. God damn it. Yeah, hold on. We're just gonna change that one.
This was for your
That you?
fifth semester.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was I was in charge of character modeling
Cool.
during the Daddy project. So this is for the game we made called Catherine Within. I was in charge of making soldiers. This model in particular is the main character, but the thing is, the main character is the antagonist and the protagonist.
Mm.
So this is her in her twisted form. The concept artist wanted her arms to be blades.
Yeah.
This is up close.
Oh my God, that's just disgusting.
Right?
Yeah.
I love it.
Pretty gross. And the
And
faceless.
another soldier here.
Faceless shoulders.
Yeah, we decided to keep them faceless, these guys. Can't remember why.
Something about her having some mental illness, right? Some
Yeah,
PTSD.
she has survivor's guilt,
Ah,
PTSD
right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So she feels guilty for surviving a war
Mm.
that she couldn't. Oh yeah, and here's the Game Grumps.
Fuck yeah.
Little drawing I made of Game Grumps. Dan and
Oh,
Aaron, our two favorite boys.
That's cute.
What else? Yeah, a monk, a dragonborn monk that I played at one point. I can't remember his name though.
Did you?
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
Was it for a one shot or something?
I think it was for a one shot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you played him at Vincent's campaign.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, these are some sketches that I've done.
That's really cool.
Sweet.
A lot of them is like pictures that I found, and then I traced the outline and then added on the details myself.
Mm. You're getting into cross hatching and doing some shading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was mostly for shading practice,
Mm-hmm.
or you know,
Good
to find the spots where it would be shaded, to make it like seem three-dimensional.
Yeah. Real cool.
It's very cool looking.
Oh, whoa! Here we go.
Oh.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
Again for D&D.
Yeah. Who was this guy?
Harold. It was Harold when he
Oh,
came back after you thought he was dead.
Fucking cool outfit.
Yeah. Here's the water simulation that I made.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And I'm really satisfied with this one. It looks
Yeah.
so good.
It's really cool.
Wow.
A shotgun model, the DP12.
Oh yeah.
Little turntable, that one. Yeah, I tried to make Venomized Ghost Rider,
Oh, yeah.
which it was a bit hard to make the textures work in Arnold. No idea why, but yeah, I made this guy in ZBrush.
The only thing maybe that's not selling it is the fact that he looks a little wet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But other than that, I mean,
I
skull, the
I
flames.
turned the specularity all the way down,
Oh yeah.
and the metalness all the way down.
Okay. I mean, I like the highlights on I like the highlights on the rim light
Yeah.
that you got on it. It's real nice.
The flames I did in Photoshop.
Yeah.
And the
Real
Emperor
nice.
here as well.
I think those work really fucking well.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's
It's very cool.
Yeah. I ended up posing him with Mixamo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sculpted him in a T-pose or whatever, and yeah, threw him into Mixamo. Oh, and here's that one animation.
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
just
see
gonna
it.
make sure it's not too loud.
Best.
So this is from the Sherlock Holmes movie. I decided to animate that as my third semester project.
Popular.
And we had 3 weeks to do that, which is not enough time to do an amazing animation, but you did a pretty good job.
I really wanted to go more into detail with this.
I remember you were talking only in this scene's quotes for like.
Yeah.
I was sitting right next to you.
Stuck in my head.
I was sitting right next to you when you were working on this, and there was all you were talking about was like discombobulate.
Discombobulate. But this is the animation I'm proudest of.
It's really cool.
Oh yeah, that was some stuff my mom wanted to have set up for her living room. So
cute.
Very cool.
I did not mean to show that.
I
don't remember if I had anything else.
You do little jobs for your mom.
That was the water sim. That was Sherlock Holmes. And that's the shotgun. Yeah, that's it.
All right, let's take a 10-15 minute break and we'll be back for more.
Sure.
Back at night.
Wait, where did Discord go? Wait, hold on. There.
And I'm back. Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Ah,
Ah.
All right.
all right. Where did we leave off?
Hello, fellow YouTube watchers, says Hansen. New
Watches this.
Nebelgore Hansen.
Oh, there, Nipicor.
What?
What? What are you studying this theme?
Yes, Nebelgore. Nebelgore? Nebelgore. 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 I don't know. It's CERN.
Yeah,
Just something like that.
Big Daddy.
No, it is actually CERN. It's a guy from here, from the blog. This is his actual name. But so now that we have spent 2 hours introducing ourselves, I think we should start making a short film, right? This is why we're here.
This is exactly why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no other reason at all. But yes. Any ideas on how we can start?
Oh, you could definitely start talking about what we think. Like you said this yourself. Like what's a cool story? Like what do you think is a cool story? Do some brainstorming.
Okay.
An example
Then
you like in a good story.
then I think we should mute each other for 10 minutes.
Okay.
And we should each open a new document and write a brainstorm a bit, and see, and then after 10 minutes we can all open it up again and talk about it.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay.
Say on 21:10 we'll come back.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
Talk to you.
All right, muting both of you.
Just mute yourself.
There we go.
We all mute ourselves.
Okay. Brainstorm.
Not muted, Daniel.
Let me just open a document here.
You have to mute yourself.
All right.
Daniel, you have to mute yourself. In Discord.
Let's see. What makes a good story?
Well, I just realized I had my mic turned off. So, if you have any good ideas in the comments, please write anything that you might think could make for a good story. So far I have character development. So in a story you have character, objective, obstacle. So you have a character. The character has an objective. There is an obstacle that makes him not be able to obtain his objective. There's a character development, and then he obtains the objective. A good story should have clever writing, so show don't tell. Remove unnecessary assets, so any characters or places or shots or people or whatever that are not a necessity for the story, you can remove. And do not use one-liners. I hate one-liners. I'll be back. Yes. Good story. Something with a deeper message, So something with a story that has something to teach you. Story that has something to teach you. And I actually think that is, personally, I find that stories with a message and that have something to teach are the stories that I enjoy the most. Yeah. I really like the home out home kind of model of making a story where you have the character being at their home and wanting to be dissatisfied with something or wanting to gain something new, and they go out into the unknown to find something, and then they come back with that new knowledge. It's very primitive in a way. It's what they use in fairy tales most of the time, and I really like that. Very simple, straight to the point. A good story should also be able to be told, but with anything, able to be told with any sort of character. And what I mean by this is that the character can be literally anything. It could be a pencil, it could be a rock, it could be a mountain. And that's actually something I love about Pixar, where they tell their short stories with characters who are the objects in the short stories. For example, you have lava, which is literally two mountains. And here we're back. Let me open the thing. Hello.
Hey. Totally. All right.
Daniel.
Wait, so if you muted yourself, did you also mute yourself on your stream?
Yeah, I muted myself.
Oh, Costas.
Yes, I actually did for a second. But no, I muted myself on Discord. That doesn't mute me from the screen. Stream.
Okay, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
I forget that you can do that.
But I actually had turned off my microphone as well. So the first 5 minutes I was just talking and there was no sound.
Okay.
I was stupid.
Doesn't matter. Daniel.
Yeah.
Should we like put it on the brainstorm or?
Yeah, I think you can just copy paste it over here, like under your name. Not just we can just say here brainstorm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Brainstorm. Yeah. Okay. Where's that one?
Sorry.
Hmm?
Are you making like a channel on Discord that we're putting it in? Or?
No, on Google Docs. I have invited you on this. Actually, I think we should do a Miro board eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should do it now.
Okay.
Miro. I'm going to do that now.
So you want to use pictures or something?
Oh, you can do everything with Miro. But you can do mind maps and stuff. Create a shared board.
I'm just gonna paste everything I wrote in here.
Mm-hmm.
Share. Brainstorm. Save.
It's
move this
like everything I've also written.
over.
Is it?
Yeah, you got me.
Oh gosh darn it.
No. Let's see. Maybe we support each other here.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put it on Discord. The link on the short film project.
Uh-huh.
And you can just click on that link and you can join the Miro board.
Cool. We'll do that. Yep.
All right, awesome.
We'll have to rock in.
Big plot twist, drama, weakness
Yeah.
in the protagonist, relatable situations, personality, sympathy, creative.
What's my role?
All right.
I don't fucking know. Others? Have you ever used visual tools? Yeah, sure.
All right. I mean,
Cool.
There we go.
play around with this.
Yay, Myra board. Woo.
Brainstorm.
Okay,
So
yeah, I
cute.
wrote big plot twist.
Okay.
We all love them.
So
Let's put it in the Miro board.
yeah, let's make a box and connect the box with the other box.
Mind if I call this short film? The good short film.
Sure, a good story.
Okay.
Yeah, the good story.
Here we go.
Plot twist.
Yeah.
What else I have?
Okay,
Drama.
before you let's not brush over the things. What do you mean by plot twist? What do you think about when you think plot twist?
Okay. I really like the twists. For example, we had like the protagonist have been like the classic one. The protagonist has gotten a lot of help from this one character,
Yeah.
who then turns out to be a bad guy.
So betrayal.
Betrayal, yeah.
Okay.
For example.
The thing with Into the Spider-Verse, for example,
do you
Miles Morales' uncle. If you remember that, his uncle ending up being the Prowler.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That is a good plot twist, I feel.
I think
Okay.
it portrayed him as a bit of an anti-hero. So it
Yeah.
wasn't much of it was not like he was a big bad guy that you didn't understand. It was like a big bad guy who actually kind of liked his nephew. He's taught him the ways of, maybe it was a little sketchy, but he was cool. He was understanding. Like he was the person for Miles who helped him develop as a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Father was much more authoritative, and
And it's also the connection they have with each other.
yes, it
Like,
was pure. and
he's not just Miles' uncle.
Mm-mm.
He's
The
one
mentor.
he's one of Miles' closest friends too.
So there's a betrayal where a good character turns bad, and there is the
You know,
change of character in general. It doesn't have to.
Yeah.
let's say it goes more from being a protagonist to an antagonist.
Yeah.
You know, evil is a subjective term at this point, because he wasn't really evil. I think the uncle, if I
No,
remember.
I haven't really figured out like why he did it.
No,
But we're not here to analyze the story of
No.
Into the Spider-Verse.
no.
So turning from friend to foe
To enemy.
to enemy.
Yeah.
So that goes here and
All right. What else do you have?
what did you do with the box, Anas?
Oh, I just changed the theme to friend.
Okay.
The other thing I have is drama.
Oh yeah, I can do this. Yeah, drama.
Everyone loves drama.
So drama. And that's orange.
You might say that you hate drama, but secretly you love it.
Everyone.
Everyone loves
Like
drama.
hearing about other people's troubles, it's just something everyone's a sucker for.
Yeah.
But only
There's no way around it, man. There's no way around it.
no. But mostly, if you get
Drama can be a lot of things.
Mm.
It can be, yeah, it could be a dispute between friends or lovers.
Mm.
But it can also be an intense action scene.
Okay. That's not-
How do you make text box
Just take the square from the side over here.
templates?
Just a square over here.
Oh, like this.
Oh. Oh, shape.
And then make it a color. There we go.
Cool.
Let's make it green because it's the sub box.
Make it green and 50% opacity.
Yeah. Okay. Did you say an intense action scene?
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, sure.
What else can
Yeah,
be
but-
drama?
You
Drama.
have an example though? Just curious. Like, what do you think is good drama?
Good drama. What is good drama?
Have you like? Is there one thing that's like really? Oh, that's just.
I think in a way, betrayal is also drama. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
betrayal should definitely be tied to drama as well.
Yeah. For sure. It's just something you can have an opinion on in some way. I suppose.
Oh, I love Mario board. It's so cool.
Hey. It's a little corroborate thing. All right. Anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, the thing with intense action scene connected to drama, it's the kind of drama. What it wants to do is give you that sensation of like that thrilling sensation.
Mm-hmm.
A thrilling sensation. Let's write that down.
Well, would it be an accurate example to say that could be like a boss fight revealing another layer, or you know,
It could.
bringing in an important story plot twist device kind of thing.
Stuff
Okay.
like basically every war scene in Lord of the Rings.
Ah, yeah. So
That is drama.
it is.
And that dramatic scene can also have plot twists in it. It can be a change of character, betrayal. It can be a dispute between friends.
So it works kind of like I think
Yeah,
when you're rooting for a sports team. Like that's what I get from from
an important character
Over.
dying can
Oh.
also be related to drama and
Oh,
plot
sure.
twists.
Sure thing. Hold on, what's this Mario board?
Say when when Gandalf fights the Balrog.
Uh-huh.
We did like only the people who had read the books knew that he was gonna fall down. But me, who hadn't read the books when I first watched the movie, I was shocked when Gandalf fell.
Yeah. They needed him, you know. It's like the
Yeah.
genie of Aladdin.
So something that shocks you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Or when Aragorn falls over the cliff, but then it turns out he was alive.
Yeah.
He didn't actually die.
Let's go for that.
Like, of course, it's Aragorn. You don't kill Aragorn.
Lord of the Rings.
If you couldn't tell by now, I'm a sucker for Lord of the Rings.
Oh, we all.
I love it.
Everyone here is.
Yep. No arguments here.
Absolutely lovely.
Something.
Shocking.
I don't know if that should be directly there.
Gandalf dies.
Yeah, it is. It's a big
Spoilers
shock.
much?
Actually, it's not though. There's a twist.
Oh yeah, that also reminds me of the whole scene in the Half-Blood Prince. The dialogue between Snape, Dumbledore, and Draco. Remember that?
Yes.
No, I've not seen that movie actually.
You haven't seen it?
I remember that.
Yeah. I thought that was a great scene.
What happened in it?
That was drama because you have Harry Potter who is under the invisibility cloak and he's following Snape and Draco Malfoy, and he goes. I think he's watching Draco Malfoy arguing with Dumbledore.
It's Voldemort who wants Draco to kill Dumbledore, but he can't bring himself to it.
Yeah, Voldemort is not in the scene. You only have Draco Malfoy. He's talking with who is a student. He's talking with Dumbledore, who is the headmaster and the best wizard in the world, right? And Dumbledore says to him, "You should do it. You should kill me or whatever." And Draco cannot get himself to do it. And then you see Snape, a teacher and supposed friend of Dumbledore, coming in and actually killing Dumbledore.
Yeah.
I think that is a lot of drama. It's like, what?
It is.
So let's put it here.
It's an intense scene where one person asks another to kill him, but that person cannot bring himself to it. So another one steps in and, you know, takes that burden upon himself.
Yeah.
Snake kills DD. Yeah.
DD from Texas Lab.
DD! Snake kills Double D.
Yeah.
Oh my god, poor Ed.
Wait, is it Dumbledore like door, or is it door
Yeah.
as in door?
It's
like
like,
this?
like
I can't
that.
remember.
I think it's like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling.
Do you know what his full name is?
Albus something Dumbledore.
I think it's Albus Percival Brian?
Brian.
Yeah.
Brian Dumbledore. I like it. You know the headmaster. Brian?
I'm just gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Albus.
His name is Brian Dumbledore.
It's Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore.
I love it. Okay.
Nice.
Headmaster Brian.
Hey, Peter.
All right. Anyway, what else do you have for a good movie?
Yeah, what else do I have here?
Weaknesses in the protagonist.
Yes, weaknesses in the protagonist. You and I, Costa, have been talking a lot about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me write this down. Weaknesses in the protagonist.
And what does that mean?
it makes the protagonist more relatable.
It's the thing that in D&D we call flaws. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A character is not perfect. You have how do you do that?
All right. So say, okay, we have this. Okay, let's go generic as hell here. We have this war movie about a war veteran who gets called out one more time to do one last thing or something like that, right?
Yeah.
He gets hired as a mercenary or whatever. But a thing in his character is that during his time in war, he was severely injured. So he has like a bad knee or something. So show that off in the movie.
Okay.
Show a scene where his knee injury.
I have a concrete example. The Incredibles. When Mr. Incredible is fighting the round robot and he's fat and his back gets stuck.
Yeah, he has an aching back.
Yeah.
He's fat. He's out of shape.
Yeah. And he's like and that affects him so much that he almost dies until this turn switch in the whole thing. So Mr.
Right. Incredible being out of shape. Could also be a psychological weakness.
Yeah,
like,
it could.
For example, I'm thinking about Breaking Bad. A person who, well, it is a physical weakness, but it becomes a psychological weakness as well when his lust for power and his influence on people starts to grow. You know, he gets away with more and more progressively self-centered and selfish things, and ends up destroying his own marriage, and ruining his friends' lives, and he becomes consumed, you know, by his own flaw. And so,
why it's thirst for power,
and you know, it never. It is a descent into madness kind of thing, though. It's not an art where they overcome their weaknesses.
Yeah, in this sense, it's his thirst for power that lets him leads him to this path.
Like he starts out with a noble goal to get some money before he dies, right?
Exactly.
And everyone can kind of relate a little bit on some level to this is crazy, but anyway, he's gonna die from lung cancer anyway, so he's gonna die anyway, so he's gonna get into some crazy stuff. But then he starts to actually enjoy it, and that's when you see his character become more in depth, but also weak in some way, you know. And uses him as a protagonist and empowers him as an antagonist, I would say, or at least as a kind of a
Deadpool kind of thing. Yeah. What is it called?
An anti-hero.
Anti-hero. Yeah. Thank you.
But we forgive him, of course. I mean, he is at the midway through the entire series. I would say he is a full-blown villain at this point.
He is a villain by the end, by the middle of the series, for sure.
Yeah. So but we forgive him as the viewer, at least.
At least at the first watch.
Yeah. I think most people have to admit that Walter White was not considered a villain to most people until they had to actually think about it.
Yeah. First time I watched it, I loved Walter White. Second time, I was like, oh my god, poor Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah, I could never.
Okay, now that we're in on this about the villain being the main character.
Yeah.
The Joker movie.
Yeah. Another descent into madness. Story, which is an arc that we like a lot these days, I feel like.
But that is again under plot twist, advert of expectations. You know, the main character is the villain, or the villain.
I would say that the Joker movie is heavily on the change of character.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And betrayal.
So let's say.
I think it's a very valid. Not valid, but of course, if you put yourself in the shoes of the Joker. You do see his madness coming. Like, everyone's treating him like shit. He works a terrible job. No one respects him. Everything that he does gets like crapped on or overlooked. And his mother, who is the only person in this world that kind of cares about him, has completely lost her herself in the hopes that Thomas Wayne
Yeah,
will
the
come and
whole,
save her.
whole reason he killed her was because,
She lied
like,
to him.
yeah, she lied to him.
And it was a I don't know if I would call it a twist. 'Cause
Like in his head, she was just like everyone else.
yeah,
She was just another one who used him and betrayed him.
But you see, that's also. I forgot what I wanted to say. Sorry. Continue.
but like the so in the Joker movie especially, it's a long progression into the descent of madness.
Oh yeah, I remember what I wanted to say. We see a lot in Hollywood nowadays that they take the villains and they make them the heroes in a way, the protagonists. We saw it with
They make us sympathize with
Yeah,
with
we saw it with Maleficent, where they took her and told her story. Now we see with Cruella de Vil, she's the main character, and the Joker as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of a trend right now, I feel.
Yeah, it is really. And, you know, one movie is more effective than the other. We can.
yeah, I think it's been a trend ever since Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I mean, Breaking Bad is just a good example, I think. Anyway, it's also just getting into a different topic at this point because we're talking character arcs right now,
Yeah.
which is a character depth topic, I would say. But I have that on my sheet later. What else do you have then?
I have relatable situations / personality.
Yeah.
Relatabiliness, yeah. Something you can relate to.
That is the bread and butter, I think, of every character.
Yep.
You have to have an element of this is a believable character, and I know a person that's kind of like this, or something like that. or maybe it's me, you know, like I'm the kind of person. It's like why the series like Friends, I think, is something I've gotten into lately, and it's really nice.
I think that makes you go, hey, I know this situation.
Yeah.
Or
They're not, even I know because you don't like sci-fi.
This character is kind of like me.
I don't like what?
I know you don't like sci-fi causes, but there is some element even in every sci-fi movie, and I think.
I like good sci-fi. I never.
Yeah, I think it's you and Michael Easton has this in common that it just needs to have good characters, and they have to have an element of something relatable to them. Aside from all the futuristic nonsense and the laser blasters and we need some little green man telling, you cannot just go and there's no try. There's only to there has to be some wisecracking person we can identify.
And it doesn't even have to be a person. It can be a situation. It can be for example, Toy Story, right? Who doesn't relate to a room full of toys, right?
True.
Yeah.
I get. I mean, we won't have that scenery.
And you can say what you will about Star Wars, but they do have relatable characters.
I think so too. I'm inclined to agree.
I mean, Anakin alone.
That is a long descent into madness.
Yes. The fear he has of losing every loved one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's something everyone can relate to.
Fear of that's a very good.
Fear of loss.
Yeah.
And the ones who count on to make him strong enough to protect them, they refused to give him the training he needed and the positions that he needed to get it. So he started looking elsewhere.
Oh my god, that's so cool. Like the fear of loss, it can play like that, like with Anakin. So fear of loss, but it can also
afraid of losing control.
But it can also play in the Mr. Incredible again.
Yeah.
He's afraid of losing his family. That's also a fear of loss, and there you have a person who takes who descends into madness. So Anakin,
and that is why Mr. Incredible's biggest weakness is him wanting to work alone.
Yeah.
So it's all like character motivation,
Yeah, depending on the character that you are, you descend to a different path in the same situation. So Anakin turned to the dark side because that's what was that made sense to him, and
The only way you could get strong
Well,
enough
he got tempted.
about.
The thing with Anakin is that he was so afraid of what he couldn't control that he ended up losing control of himself.
Mhm.
Yeah, totally. So, do you have anything else on?
I still have a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Sympathy.
sympathy. So sympathy for.
It can be sympathy for the protagonist, be sympathy for a side character or the antagonist.
Okay. Yeah.
And like, I feel like an example of how it can go wrong is The Last of Us 2. Because
True.
what they did was, first of all, we meet Abby,
Yeah.
the antagonist of the game.
Oh, we're talking about the second one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And they show the scene with Abby killing, and then later in the game, you're done with Ellie's side of the story, and now the game forces you to play as Abby.
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed was that there were so many people who got so pissed at that.
Yeah.
They didn't want to kill. They wanted to kill her. Yeah, they didn't want to play as the character who killed their favorite.
No.
And then showing all of these scenes that were supposed to make the player feel sympathy for Abby, where a lot of players just went, fuck you, man, fuck you.
So
I still feel
sympathy
shit for you.
This is
Sympathy
like an example of it being wrong.
isn't that the same as relatability?
I would say,
It is-
yeah, like
yeah,
creating sympathy for
Put
your
sympathy
character.
in with something relatable.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna put this as an extension of something relatable.
Yeah, sure. So, but this example you came over here, it sounds more like it was an example of it being done wrong,
Yeah.
or what?
Yeah, I mean,
It was, at least it didn't resonate with everybody playing the game.
like I'm no expert in this, okay? I haven't played the first Last of Us game, and I haven't played the second one.
Okay.
So like I don't have any special connection with Joel or Abby or Ellie.
So as a blank slate on the whole thing.
As a blank slate, they obviously did something wrong since so many people hated it.
Sure. So, is there an example of sympathy being done right? I mean, I could go back to, in my book, to Walter White.
Yeah.
So the
I
sympathy.
mean, I can also go back to Anakin, Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's what drives his whole descent into madness, and our sympathy carries with it. You know, we keep forgiving him over and over because he is in a shit situation already, and now seeing how badly he can steer the wheels. I mean, or how far he can take this.
And then an antagonist you absolutely can have no sympathy with is Sauron.
Sauron, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sauron.
Sauron.
The classical evil big baddie guy. I'm getting into.
But
Classic.
we've been talking
Badass
about
bad
we've been talking about sympathy for bad guys. What about sympathy for good guys?
That's a lot easier to do.
So, any examples for that?
Naruto is a good example of that because he is the outcast in this village of ninjas. He wants to become the Hokage, which is the leader of the village, but he has no friends, no experience. He's a terrible ninja, and he doesn't do good. He's
Naruto.
Naruto.
Okay.
He's a kid that I think many people can sympathize with because he's kind of like the bullied kid, the ignored kid, the one that no one really cares about, but he grows through sheer like force of will and having some sort of like unending supply of being motivated and having enthusiasm about everything, even though he is quite terrible with.
I'm sorry, but for a second there, when sympathy was in a bigger font size, It's spelled out simp with a Y.
Simp.
Simp. The Naruto simp. Everyone loves
The
it.
Naruto.
Okay. Creative
So-
Solutions is the next one you have.
Yeah. And just to rehash what you said, Anas, yeah, sympathy for protagonist Naruto is a great example because he has no one and nothing.
Yeah. He is a guy
But
who
he's
just feels
still-
bad
still-
or you can identify a little bit with him as well. So
Yeah.
it's,
But he still like remains on the quote unquote good side.
yeah, and he's always in a positive mindset still. So he's
Yeah.
had this perseverance that we really admire too.
And we see that, and we actually see that whole thing reflected in Sasuke,
yeah,
his best friend,
yeah.
who also has nobody and nothing.
And the only reason we like Sasuke is because Naruto likes Sasuke.
Yeah. And all of the
I
fangirls.
will trust you. I will trust you in that because I have never watched Naruto.
Ah man, I mean we'll have to give you a tour.
Naruto was great when I was 12 years old.
I rewatched it recently and I thought it was great.
If we're talking anime characters, okay,
Yeah.
Vegeta.
Ah, yeah, sympathy for Vegeta is great.
I mean,
But-
I can't feel anything for Goku
Huh?
because he's like Superman. He can do anything. He
Yeah, it's
surpasses.
just like perfect.
Vegeta is the one who struggles the most.
Since you mentioned Superman, Batman.
Batman,
Oh!
yeah.
Sympathy for Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Loss of family, and well, he feels like he has no one, but he actually has a lot of people around him.
Batman.
And like he's also kind of reflected in the Joker.
Yeah. Like, in what way do you think?
In the way that Batman feels like he has no one. The Joker
Yeah, has no one.
also feels like he has no one. Like he has Harley, but he doesn't appreciate her.
Oh no, yeah, and they are just on different sides of.
Yeah.
like,
Whenever
it's just-
Batman has someone around him who helps him, he appreciates it.
yeah, he respects them at least, in some way.
And also, like weaknesses, Batman's weakness, he wants to work alone.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
While the Joker, he just uses people.
Yeah, true. But he's there for an entirely different agenda, though.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, the Joker's whole agenda is to prove that anyone can go insane for just having a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And,
I
know?
actually kind of like that motivation.
yeah, because that makes Batman such a complimented character in himself, also by constantly overcoming the attempts of creating madness.
Yeah.
The fact that you can
So
persevere through like
Such a
very
strong
hard
character, right? He
support character, but also a villain.
yeah.
Joker. I mean, and that's also why I think everyone likes the Joker so much, because he has such a dimensional role,
Yeah.
even in the Batman universe.
Yeah, he makes the Batman better just by
Yes.
existing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, he kind of drives Batman to do what he does.
Yes.
Anyway, what was the thing we came from?
Creative
Creative
solutions. Yeah.
Okay. What are
So,
we talking here?
okay, an example of a creative solution. I know I had one when I was writing it, but I can't remember it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I just remember one. Have you ever seen the movie Gamer?
No.
Okay.
Hmm.
It's okay, to tell it to you short. Gamer is a movie where gaming technology evolved past like augmented reality and virtual reality.
Yeah.
Like you can actually like your gaming avatar is real life people who works as gaming avatars. So there's this shooter game where prisoners can have their attempt at gaining freedom. And what they then end up finding out is that nobody can actually gain their freedom in this game.
Yeah.
Because what the game developer ends up doing is sending in a bullshit boss fight that ends up killing everyone that gets even close to winning.
Yeah.
So what they the prisoner and his player, they figure out how to escape this place, and here's where the creative solution comes in. They find out there's a parking lot nearby, so the player has to give the prisoner full control of his body so he can go beyond the gaming area into that parking lot. And then what he does is they find out somehow that the car in there, it runs on ethanol. So what he does is he drinks a whole bottle of ethanol alcohol.
Yeah.
He goes into the parking lot piss drunk.
Yeah.
Throws up into the what is it called?
What?
The gas hatch thing.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
The gas tank.
Gas tank, yeah. So he throws up into that, and that makes the car go. I don't know if that's possible in real life, but I think it's a really creative solution.
So breaking the rules, basically.
Yeah, breaking the rules.
So creative solution. Again, let's go back to the Incredibles, right? They don't have a jet to fly back to the city, so they take a rocket, and Elastigirl has to stretch her arms to hold the van.
Yeah. True. There's something epic about an entire thing coming together. We can also go back to Lord of the Rings.
That's because that's Elastigirl with an eye after the C.
Is it?
I think
I'll
so.
just look it up. But just to, it's really not a creative solution, but it is a moment in the story where everything comes together, like at the end battle where they finally make that pact with the undead king, and then all of a sudden they come riding into battle and turn the tides with their solution. Sure,
Michael Easton talked about that one. It's something.
Creative.
It's called Deus. It's called Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. But it's not an act of God. It's more like there was an act made by a character to make this happen.
Yeah.
It was not a thing that the writers just punched in there to save the characters.
Yeah.
Like I would call it help from beyond.
Sure, but I think it deserves more credit than being in Deus Ex Machina.
It is more of a creative solution because there was actually work put into it.
There was some happening to make it happen.
Yeah.
That deserves some credit as well for this creative solutions kind of thing. Like the resolution is satisfying. That's what I mean.
I would kind of say that getting a whole undead army to fight the battle for you, that's one hell of a MacGuffin.
Oh yeah, and it was a bit of a, if I remember correctly, a bit of a risk. Like they could have been killed right off the bat. And, they went in there because they knew it was their only hope at winning. And I think there was something really nice and suspenseful about that, and it was really extra satisfying when they finally got through with it. So it's a resolution. Can I put that in there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, let's move on.
Moving on.
Otherworldly creatures.
Yes.
Okay.
They can actually do a lot for the story. And that might just be elves and orcs.
I disagree in this one.
Well, let's hear Daniel. What does Daniel have to say about this? Because we don't really know what he's going to say.
What I mean by that is that, like, it's not the most important thing in a story, but I still think it does a lot if you put something in there that doesn't exist.
It's like world building.
Something that people have never seen before.
Sure, like it's a moment of world building through the context of you're not on Earth right now. You're seeing this orc walk around.
I mean,
And-
the Alien movies, the
Yeah.
Xenomorph. That's something something nobody has seen before.
It's like the fantastic object we were talking about.
Yeah, call it that instead. A fantastic object.
Yeah, I think that would work better because I'm of the opinion that you can tell any story with any kind of what is it called? Any
object.
any objects, any character. It doesn't have to be something you know. It doesn't have to be something you don't. It could be just squares and circles, and you can tell the same story.
Yeah, you can.
When you
But
boil that down, that is essentially also what elves and orcs are. They're just objects, things, and we understand that. Oh, this is a topic of the universe that is fantastic in some way.
You say that elves are objects?
They are.
Elf
In the
life
story-
matters.
in a storytelling perspective, everything is an object.
but the thing is,
Device.
sorry, you were
Go
talking.
for it. I was just saying that everything in a story is a device.
Yeah. The thing is, like, a lot of movies when I look at, say, like the name or the cover art doesn't get me. I need to know what is in that movie. And if I just hear that, it's just this guy and girl going through some trouble together, and there's this intense action scene, and turns out that the guy was actually the villain the whole time. Like, it doesn't. No, that doesn't work for me. And that's also why. It's kind of why I haven't really watched stuff like Sons of Anarchy, Breaking Bad. Like, I know Breaking Bad is a good TV show.
So it's more of a personal preference for you, not an objectively good story needs to have a fantastic object.
No, but the question was, what makes a good story?
Yeah.
And so
But that can only be from personal experience.
Yeah.
Sure, but and having a fantastic object in there is something everything has that we like, I think.
And that's just something I like to see, something that doesn't exist.
Cool.
Sure.
We'll put it there.
That's fair.
Fantastic object. Let's say.
Could you argue that even White has like the fantastic object of being knowing how to make really good meth? Like,
A fantastic object could be something like Walter White, yeah.
he has this godly power to make really, really good meth, and that's his one good quality, or that is what that could drive him to get what he wants, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's that use of some kind of power structure, you could say, which could, in a more fantasy-esque scenario, be having like the Narnia. You have a talking lion. It's just it depends on what the story is. It's just supposed to be related to the story in some way. That's the most important part, I think.
Yeah.
But also, speaking of fantastic objects, what kind of confuses me about that, since that's something I really like to see in movies, is that I haven't watched Game of Thrones.
That's
Like,
okay.
that should be something for me, right? Yet I couldn't get through it.
There's also the way the stories are told.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy to start with. Like,
Yeah, and that's the thing. If it's heavy to start with, no, I'm out.
My boss from when I worked.
It has to get me
Yeah,
that.
My boss had a really good point about Game of Thrones, and I gotta empathize a little bit with. If you think about it, not a lot happens each episode, each character. They get like 10 minutes of screen time each for an hour, and you have to try and keep track of all these threads. Like, oh no, we're back with Daenerys, and oh no, what about Jon Snow? And this is all like getting tossed at me, and they're not related to each other at all.
Yeah.
It's a huge homework to watch Game of Thrones.
it is. It really is.
And
It's also like, I found The Walking Dead really interesting at first. Like the first 2 or 3 seasons. Until like I really started to notice that every episode is the same thing.
you're getting to a really good
Then
point.
all of a sudden it was like, this is fucking boring.
But you're getting to a really good point, though. A story is also powerful for its simplicity.
Yeah.
But I think
Yes.
but I've written that in my notes, so we'll get into that later.
Okay, cool. I have that too, I
Okay, so-
think.
Oh,
Alright.
really?
Anyway, the next point I have is comedy.
Yeah.
Throw a few
Comedy.
jokes in there.
hmm That's it.
That's okay.
It's true. The power of comedy
Yeah.
is to create levity, I think, and that's a fancy word, but
The comedic moments really, like, it can calm you down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can make it more lighthearted and easier to enjoy
Yeah.
and watch.
Yeah.
And I
But
definitely agree.
you should also be careful with it.
we could go back to the Joker movie, who uses comedy as this jarring kind of thing, where it's really he's nervous because of his comedy career. He's not really particularly funny, but we root for him. He tries to be, and in that sense, they use comedy as, well, not a very lighthearted thing. But then we can look at the Avengers movies, where they use it for quips. It's like one-liners. It's like little things, and it starts to not take itself so seriously anymore. Even when Thor loses his entire family, his entire life, his home planet gets destroyed, everyone dies. He goes back to Asgard. We laugh and we see him being fat and playing video games.
Yeah.
It's
No, not even. Like, we see, like, the Asgard, we see it blow up and all sorts of shit.
true.
And then, Korg tries to come in with
Immediately, like an exact and the same that happened, like this impactful moment. He just lost everything,
Yeah.
and it just gets passed off with a laugh.
You can argue whether that's a good thing, but maybe for the demographic or the kind of story you're trying to tell, I thought it might have been a good thing because it's a lighthearted superhero movie.
Yeah.
But what I like about that moment is that while, Korg tries to be sympathetic and
Yeah.
say, if we rebuild this place, it'll be a safe haven for all creatures.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing just explodes, and he's like, okay, yeah, no, foundation is gone.
Yeah.
It's a funny moment. It cracks me up every time.
Yeah,
Makes the situation more lighthearted. Also because we've been told by Odin that Asgard is not a place, it's the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So they
true.
didn't lose Asgard.
No. That's true. Like the whole we're starting a revolution. Wanna come? that little
That's putting comedy into an action.
You're trying to kill a bunch of people and steal their things.
Yeah.
That is such a shift in energy in a movie, and comedy has a great power in that.
And also putting action into putting comedy into an action scene is also very much reflected in Spider-Man.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
True.
Like basically every Spider-Man movie ever made.
Well, Spider-Man as a character is a character. Is a person who
He's a character full of one-liners.
Yeah, who is a kid, and that's actually reflects the character and who he is. That takes everything as a joke. So
Yes.
in that sense, it's actually good to have a lighthearted.
Like Spider-Man fighting the Winter Soldier. Whoa, you have a metal arm? That's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We see his teenage child-like behavior
yeah.
come out there.
That's true. Let's just get here.
I'm just making some more room because there's way more things to
Yeah,
cover.
we're trying to write a lot here. Let's see.
Yeah, Joker movie humor is
And then we have like Avengers humor. Humor is levity. So they use it to downplay how tragic the thing can be.
Yeah,
So
That's a great contrast between those two movies, how they use comedy.
yeah. And it also attracts a different demographic, I think. I mean,
But it's also like the Joker says that comedy is what does he say? Comedy is subjective.
yeah.
yeah, that's true. Very subjective. because you're not gonna win everyone's hearts with your comedy. That's how
No.
it is. I met my
A great example in that movie is when he tried to make the joke with "Knock knock, who's there? Is the police? Son is dead. He got ran over by a truck."
Yeah,
I find that funny. I don't know.
It's an anti-joke. It's an anti-joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to find the absurdity of it.
What
Humorous.
were you gonna say, Hannes?
I would say that I met a woman recently and she's super nice, but her sense of humor is way different from the ones we share. And I even think that you, Custis, and Oliver, our friend group are very different in terms of humor you like as well.
Yeah.
Like the absurdity is definitely more Oliver style, and Costas, you're like the wisecrack, the kind of the jokes that seems to have some sort of cleverness to it. And I mean, there's just something for everybody when it comes to comedy. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. We were talking even earlier today. Daniel and I were talking about. He was saying, "You don't like my memes," and I say, "It's not my fault. Your memes are shit."
But that's very subjective too.
Exactly,
you know?
right?
Comedy is subjective.
I talked to the woman in my life right now. She likes Friends, and it was a sense of humor I never thought I could get into. But
I love Friends.
You love Friends, and I have to say that I should also give it a fair chance now that I'm getting into it. And it's just, and the jokes are all about very human things. I think it's always like either Chandler doing something, he's just a sarcastic guy, and then he ends up, it's just that you end up expecting it from them to be these kinds of characters as well.
Yeah.
And you become funnier for it and more likable for it as well. So you go to know them through their sense of humor as well, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, it
But
does.
still, they can also show, like the characters in Friends, they can also show, besides comedy, they can show everything else we've been through here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. True. Anyway, that's all I...
Friends is a very well written show. No matter what you if you like it or not, the objective truth is it's very well written.
Also, he thinks that the whole show is terrible and not funny, so...
Again, it's subjective.
It's like you have to like that kind of humor. Storytelling. Okay.
Connection between protag and antag, says
Yes.
here. I suppose you mean protagonist and antagonist?
I didn't want to write the whole thing.
Okay.
Oh, it's a very honest...
Yep. Long words.
Yeah.
Yes, a connection between the protagonist and the antagonist. I know that in,
right there.
say, in Lord of the Rings,
Oh, yeah.
there's no connection between Sauron and Frodo, except the ring.
Oh, like that.
But like a small connection like that.
Why are we writing this?
I'll write
But
it.
there's also a connection between Frodo and Smeagol.
Yeah, true. Because they both own the ring. Or
They're both obsessed with the ring. Or Frodo becomes obsessed with the ring.
Yeah, so like Smeagol works as a constant reminder to Frodo and also us, the viewer, of what Frodo will become if he succumbs to the ring. So there's like it's a real nice compliment to this character, I think. Also.
It is.
So yeah, Smeagol and Frodo is a good example. Smeagol, Gollum, and Frodo. And I also want to just say it again because I've written this point as well. I've written this point as well. The Batman and Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joker.
Yeah.
They complement each other so well, just because.
They do.
And it's just what it is.
And also maybe Luke and Darth Vader. Like since
Luke
we're
and Darth
taking,
Vader, definitely.
since we're taking
Oh, yeah.
the big and because I love the Incredibles, Syndrome and Mr. Incredible.
Yep. Syndrome used to be his biggest fan.
Ah, yeah, it's true.
And I love this relationship with Syndrome and Mr. Incredible because there is to show the misunderstanding that happened, because even from one of the first scenes in the movie, we hear that Mr. Incredible, what I said before, he works alone, and that is the thing. That is just his thing. It's not something personal to Buddy or Incrediboy or whatever. But he takes it personal. He thinks it's a personal attack towards him, and that's why he comes to hate him.
Yeah,
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
And last one, tight situation.
Tight situation. Yes, something that puts the hero of the story in a situation where he's about to give up on everything.
I think this is goes under weaknesses in Protagonist, where we say could lead to their demise.
The thing, the scene I was thinking about was in Spider-Man Home, when Peter gets crushed underneath a building.
Oh yes.
And he's lying in there. He's crying. He's calling out for help.
That's a beautiful scene, actually. It's a really nice.
Nobody comes around, and then he's like you can see he's reminded about what Tony told him.
If you're nothing without a savior, you should.
And then just before he's about to give up on everything, he finds the strength in himself to lift an entire fucking building.
Yeah.
True. To persevere in some way.
To push through. To find it's that moment of finding your inner strength.
Right.
Finding that power you didn't know you had.
So overcoming your
your biggest obstacle.
Yeah. And
that's one of my main points that I have. Actually.
Emotional struggle is always really effective, I think. No matter how it is, like physical struggles are that's okay, but I feel like the most powerful ones are always the emotional struggles.
Yeah, I'm coming back to Vegeta again, with his motivation to always wanting to surpass Goku. Like the only, and that leads me to Goku again. The only motivation he has is to surpass himself.
Yeah. He's just a big dumb retard who's really
is. Like, I don't know how people like Goku.
No, there's nothing depthful about his character at all. He serves as the ever-standing antagonist to the main protagonist, Vegeta. He's just a stupid, powerful Superman, and then there's Vegeta who tries to be stronger than Superman all the time, and he never gets to be in
rivalry.
What?
Rivalry over overcoming the biggest.
You're kind of cutting off, Daniel. I don't know.
Yeah.
What
You said
what?
rivalry?
Man? Rivalry, yeah.
Am
I having a bad connection?
I think so. Yeah.
I can hear you.
And internet connection should be good.
Yeah, you're fine on my end.
Am I having a bad connection?
See, we'll figure it out.
I did see earlier my bars, like it was down to like 2 bars.
Oh, okay.
Or 3.
And
But it should be good now. I have like 4 bars right now.
Bars? Where can you see your bars?
Oh, right here. It's when you go down to your Wi-Fi.
Ah, that's what you mean.
That you can see like so like I have 3 bars in total.
Okay.
And at one point it was down to 1. It's up on 2 now.
Okay.
So my internet connection should be good.
Mine is on full.
Okay. Then I don't know what happened. Maybe I was just talking too loud.
Maybe.
Try turning down the sensitivity on the microphone.
Doesn't matter.
Like that.
Oh.
We just try something. Ew!
Ew.
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 Yeah, I can see like on my OBS, it went all the way up in the red field when I did that. Even when I'm talking like this, it goes up into the yellow.
Okay, Hannes.
Where should we go? Yeah, Anas, what do you have? Give us the good stuff.
It's a lot of the same, so I'll just go over the things that we haven't really talked about. I think it's not an essential thing, but there is one thing I think is really appreciated in every story that the Pixar movies do, and that is every piece of the story is used in one way or another.
Yes,
An
I have
example of
that too. I have that too.
that is the movie Outward,
Yeah.
where
haven't
everything
watched that
on
one.
screen is important to the whole story, so you never get to stop a frame and not appreciate something.
Yeah.
I'll just write here. So every piece in the story is important. So no need to make the viewer focus on anything that's not related to the main plot of the story.
I wrote actually remove unnecessary assets.
Yeah, it's perfect. Exactly.
Yeah.
We're both totally on board with that. So yeah. Oh, and the story has to matter.
Man.
Matter. Matter.
Yes.
Matata.
And
Hakuna Matata.
and yeah, Outward is just really nice because it has that, like, even everything to the final place with the fountain.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
Not saying spoilers, but just everything in it is important.
the thing with like the one that shocked me the most was the thing with what is it called, the AC on the car.
Yeah.
What you think is just like he shows the AC to in the beginning when he first gets in the car, and you're like, okay, that's a cool thing, but then they use it.
Yeah. Even like the fountain, the AC. Yeah, anything like that.
I think Onward isn't Onward? Is it Outward? I don't know.
No,
Outward,
it's,
it's onward. Onward. You're right.
Onward.
You're right. I'm thinking about a game I played recently.
Yeah.
There we go. Very
Yeah.
unforgiving RPG, by the way. Very fun. But anyway, yeah, like that was a major thing.
Yeah, Outward. I played Outward. I have it actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We could. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, Onward was good, and then that's it. That's all I had for this actually. And then I wrote, a character must be dynamic. So, and I think that goes for. Let me see. Do we have anything like that? Not specifically, no. So, a dynamic character is the opposite of a static character. So a static character is a guy who says, I hate tacos, and at the end of the story, he still hates tacos. But a dynamic character says, I hate tacos, but then he goes to Mexico, discovers that they make tacos with soft shells, and they're really nice, and then he says, okay, maybe, I should open my own taco stand in this place where I get hard shell, shitty tacos, and then he grows. There's dynamic growth, and there's a terrible example, very boring story, but but it was just an example. Dynamic characters. Arc, I will call it, because it doesn't matter specifically if it's one of the very renowned and used character arcs. Doesn't necessarily have to be that. I'm talking about the coming of age. I'm talking about the Descendants of Madness. Like these are very used arcs. It could be like anything. Or the journey arc.
We have a lot of a lot of similar points on us.
Oh, good. And then I think let me just get some examples of it. It's the burrito guy, but just some stories that actually use this. Let's just go for the ones we have. Frodo goes on this quest with the ring, and it's bad, but also now the ring might actually be kind of good at the end. Even if it's that's very superficial change, though. I would say a more depthful change. Might be something like, oh man, I'm trying to come up with a good example here.
I think Jesse Pinkman is a very good thing of that.
Yes, like this outcast guy who has nothing going for him in his life, and then when he finally gets something going right in his shitty life, and then it just ends up getting ruined anyway.
And also like the thing, he was the guy who was actually a cook. You know, he was cooking meth and all that.
Yeah.
But then he came to realize that this is not what he wants to do. He actually wants to go to Canada and live find a girl and have a nice life, right?
Yeah, first he wants money, but then he learns he needs a slice of life, you know, something.
Guys, I'm gonna be loud here for a moment because I just need to turn down the volume of one of my sounds on my soundboard.
Okay, sure.
Bear with me.
I am prepared. I do still like that little sound.
I just discovered something, that there are actually different like soundboards, like already pre-made soundboards on this. There's one called Anime, which I'm very afraid to push any keys on. But let's try some of them. Okay.
Here we go. Let's see.
Jesus Christ.
Static.
Yeah,
It's Porno. It's bad. Taco hater guy.
Wow.
Okay, I feel like Daniel is losing concentration, so I think we should have a we should have like a 5-minute break and then come back.
Yeah, I'll just finish my notes here.
Okay.
When you come back and talk more about it.
Okay.
Hey, just because I'm looking through sounds on the soundboard doesn't mean that I'm not like present.
Sure, buddy. See you outside for a break.
Yeah. Half time?
Yeah, half past. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, see that.
No, actually, like 25. It's fine. 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And we're back.
Bullying. Hey.
Hi. We were not talking about things getting bigger and bigger in an orgy.
You were
Anyway.
not? Okay,
No.
Cool. That's nice.
Static character bad.
What
Yeah,
the?
I didn't want to connect to anything because it's just a reminder. Like if
Taco hating guy still hates tacos.
yeah, and it kind of goes into a new point I wanted to make.
What the fuck? With the star.
Character bad. Character
Yeah.
are bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I like that.
Love it, wowie.
Halloween, I like it. I wanted to bring up a new point also. I added some arcs that are very. Well, I'll get to that. First, I wanted to get into the characters with depth. It's also a thing where they come into having multiple dimensions because they start out having one goal and then their goal changes over the course of the story. So Moana, I know you watched it, Costas,
Yeah.
and it's not about Maui. This is about Moana. She started out wanting to leave the island because she wants to go search the world. She's curious. But at the end of the movie, she has to leave because she needs to save her people, for example. So
yeah, it's more like in the beginning and then a bit later in the beginning, but yeah.
exactly. So her motivation for doing so changes, and that makes her a multi-dimensional character, for example.
Yeah.
And you can add more dimensions if as you write, of course. But this was just an example I think is easy to understand.
Yeah.
And then I put some arcs because my last point that hasn't been made yet is the simplicity is a really strong story. Resonates with a lot of people. That's why we see these redemption arc, coming of age story, descend into madness stories. They go again and again and again because they are at its core always the same simple problems that and stories that people go through, and we all as people ourselves go through in some way. And they kind of easy to break down once you see these themes.
Did you guys know, since you're talking about this, did you guys know there's only 37 story archetypes that the ancient Greeks wrote, and these are the only story archetypes we have, and all the stories we make are based on those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone broke it down like that. That's awesome. I gotta see that.
Yeah.
Simplicity is strong because it's. You can write that here, if anything. But I would say it's part of a good story, so I will give it its own color if I can. So like this. So same archetypes go again. Like we're not about to teach the people a whole new Bible, you know. It's not too much homework. It's about making sure that the story is easy to digest. Like you have to, or at least if you're ready to make a second Game of Thrones, you need to know that that's your demographic. You know?
Yeah.
But all Pixar movies, for example, have this very nice, easy to digest stories every time. Few characters, easy to understand plot, you can relate to it very simply, right?
Yeah.
Simplicity is something that hooks people way faster than as opposed to where you need to watch half a season of Game of Thrones for 6 hours before you start to get some sort of continuity.
Yeah.
So I understand why Daniel wouldn't want to see that, for example. So easy to digest plot, I would say. Good.
Sometimes a complicated plot can be good as well.
Yeah, but it should unfold into something complicated through twists, I think. Like, I think Naruto does it really well again here. Like
an example.
It could be like the Dara, you know, you have this evil ninja guy who's really strong, but you can only see his influence on the world. You don't really know who he is, but you know he's powerful because he is just this guy who leads this narrative for a lot of other villains. So you create this
An example I
Complicated
have of of a complicated plot is and it's not Kingdom Hearts. Fuck that.
No, that
Seriously,
is
fuck
Game of
that
Thrones
story.
for me.
Fuck that story.
Jesus.
It's this movie, and yes, it's about time travel.
Yeah.
Tenet?
And the thing that makes me interested in that movie is that it has time travel in it.
Okay.
It's something otherworldly, something that
Yeah.
doesn't exist. It's the fantastic object.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that makes the plot so complicated is that every character is the same person.
Hmm.
Are you talking
Okay.
about Cloud Atlas?
No. Can't remember what it's called. Let me just try to do a Google search. Time travel movie where everyone is the same person. Here we
Loop?
go. It's called prestidigitation.
Oh, no, I don't know that.
Prestidigitation? No, I can never say that word.
Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation. No, it's called. I read it wrong. It's predestination.
That's a different thing, yeah.
Here we go.
Predestination. 2014 sci-fi movie.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean when every character is the same?
So, if I remember correctly, it's about this guy who is tasked with stopping a time-traveling terrorist.
Okay.
He travels to different points in times, and yeah, he has a bomb with him, and he blows up different locations.
Okay.
But then it turns out that that terrorist is actually him.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
And there's also like one point he meets a girl, they fall in love, they have a kid. That girl is him from another time where he had a sex change operation.
Oh yeah, that it used to be a book. Yeah, it was a book, and they made it into a movie.
And then that baby is also him.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Everything. It's just at that point. Is that like a playing on the whole theory that the universe is an egg and we're just becoming a god?
I don't
What the fuck?
So many years ago, I watched it, man.
Is living the same life and gathering experience enough to become a god at the end of the universe? I don't know.
I remember that movie specifically because it was like my dad was watching it, and I can't remember what the hell I was doing, but I came into the living room, saw he was watching it. I sat down, watched it with him, and like I think he was halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
And I started asking all of these questions, and he had watched like enough of it so he could explain it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my dad was just like, well, that person is actually him, and that girl, that's actually him. They just had a baby, which is also him.
We actually talked about this movie in English class in high school.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, in any case, it's all I had for
Really good movie, but yeah, my point with that was that a complicated plot is not always bad.
No, for sure. Like as long as it gets to unfold in a reasonable pace.
Yeah.
So you don't get clusterfucked with tons of exposition.
Yeah, I think complicated plot is for TV shows or long movies or series. A short film should not have a complicated plot.
Yeah, no.
Or it could be complicated in a twist at the end. So like, I wish I could come up with an example right now, but it is like you just discover the character's doing something for a completely different reason, and then.
Like for example, the short film Time. Do you remember that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Where at the end you find out that this he was the reason his father died, and that's why he's there, and he's like full of regret and all that. Very strong movie, very strong film.
At least the top has a very heavy subject. For
Yeah.
Sure.
Speaking of time travel movies, did you ever see that that one with Bruce Willis?
Yes, Loop.
Yeah, Loop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
Anyway, do you have anything else on us?
Nope, that was all I could add.
Okay, then it's my turn. Okay.
Yay!
So-
Time for the wandering business.
So first of all, a lot of the things I wrote, we have already talked about.
Yeah.
The first thing I wrote was what I call the cuckoo thing, the cuckoo plot line. So you have a character. The character has an objective. There is an obstacle. There's character development. And then he obtains the objective. So what is important about this is the character development, and I think we talked about this. Character with depth. I think.
Is that the same way that they write Rick and Morty? I think I've seen Dan Harmon make this reel where he talks about a hero going through drama and then becoming something else. So he goes from being a person who wants something, then he works towards getting that thing, and then he has to go through a problem that makes him change
Exactly.
and get that thing, and then he becomes a new person at the top of the wheel again.
Yeah, exactly.
So he begins his journey again around the wheel. He wants something. He tries to get it. He has to change to get it. Becomes a new person again.
Yes.
So that way you always create an arc for a character that keeps changing and being dynamic over the course of a long series, for example.
Yes. Exactly. From that, I think we should take the character development part.
Yeah. I'll just write the Dan Harmon writing style. I don't know what he calls it himself, but...
Well, I just made this up and I call it cuckoo.
Okay.
Like that. Cuckoo.
Okay.
Because it's character, objective, obstacle, character development, objective, obtains the objective. So...
Wait, what?
I'm writing it down.
The cuckoo character. Wow. Okay. The cuckoo character objective obstacle character development obtains the objective.
So it's the timeline. So you have the character. That character has an objective. There is an obstacle. There's character development, and because of that, the character obtains the objective.
That is one hell of an anagram.
Yeah.
Just
I like
made
it.
it up.
Yeah.
The cuckoo
and
effect.
it's very akin to the way Dan Harmon writes. And I think it's real cool.
It's very basic. It's basically the thing that fairy tales do. You know, the home thing.
Yeah.
Where you have a character, he wants to do something, so he has to go outside of his home, and then there's some character development, and then he comes back. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I think Up really did a good job at that.
Yeah.
Let's go for... See, I got this right here. Here it comes.
Cool.
It's here.
Man,
So-
I love Myro. Myro's so cool.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So, there. Just to give an illustration, kind of what the cuckoo is. There you go.
So the other thing I wrote was show don't tell,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
For sure.
and we can put this over here. Show, maybe not like that. Tell.
What's an example of show don't tell that you like?
An example of show don't tell.
Like, are we talking symbolism? For
No,
example?
not necessarily. We can talk about. We can say, oh, okay, let's take Incredibles again, right?
Mhm.
You have a character who feels trapped in his like after Mr. Incredible, he has to go to like he has to stop doing hero work. He has to feel trapped. He's a big man, so they put him in a tiny space, in a square, with blank colors in the most tiny miserable car. There's not a single time where they say, "I am miserable. I feel bad."
Yeah.
They just show it with everything around him. Everything around him is designed to make sure that you understand that he feels miserable as fuck.
It's the same thing they do with the Joker.
Yeah. Cramped car in the rain. Kind of thing.
Yeah. I think I can find an but hold on.
And also body language, of course. There we go. Okay.
Cool. Then, remove unnecessary assets. We're talking about that. Do not use one-liners. Do not use one-liners. I fucking hate
No
one-liners.
one-liner.
It really depends on what kind of demographic we're going for, but yeah. What do you mean,
Like, I'll be back, or like
Every line in Fast and the Furious.
every single line in Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it kind of tries way too hard to be iconic in some way. That's true. And it's a very subjective thing, I think, though. To be honest, there's an appreciation for them when they come at the right time.
Yes.
I don't personally hate the "I'll be back" or "Get to the chopper." There's some. It's the kind of memeable moments that
Yes.
sit with me in some way, and they gain an appreciation in me for the cringiness. Or
For sure, I think it's an exaggeration when I say never use one-liners, because there is a place and time for them. For example, in Return of the King, I believe, by the when Viggo Mortensen he turns to fight, he says for Gondor or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a one-liner that makes sense, you know.
Yeah, or you bow to no one.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
kind of thing. When it's a a line of wisdom, but it can also be used for comedy. And I think, it's still for. It depends on the demographic kind of story you want to tell, because one-liners diffuse all seriousness. It makes something epic or fun, or lighthearted at least, or cringy. Depending on what you want.
Yeah.
Guys, go to Discord real quick.
Okay. But I agree, one-liners are maybe not what we want in this short film. I think also a short film is too short to appreciate a one-liner.
Yeah.
The thing you talked about, Costa,
Yeah.
with the main character being boxed in.
Mm-hmm.
This bus scene from the Joker sits especially with that. See how he's boxed in here?
Yeah.
In the corner, like between the frame and the thing.
And
Yeah.
still here and here again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah,
very
it
close,
really
very tight. Oh,
It actually shows his character really fucking well.
yeah.
And he's still boxed in, even though he tries.
True.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor guy. It's
Yeah,
trying to
man.
make the kid
That's America.
I wasn't bothering him. And then he starts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's laugh. Which is it's an interesting acting, because it looks like he's also crying.
Yeah.
Because it's painful, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not sure.
supposed
What I
to be
really
painful.
like about this
Okay.
is that he's boxed in here by another character.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's a cool cinematography. Moment.
Okay. The other thing is having a story with a deeper message, a story that has something to teach you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Booscape, how do you say that in English? Booscape.
I can't remember. It's called.
We'll make this.
I have to Google it. Message. Oh my fucking god! It's message.
Is it just message?
It's just message.
Oh yeah, does it have a message? Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, then I said it right.
Oh hey, Oliver just shared some concept art for Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods Part 2.
Ooh. Anyway,
Stuff looks interesting.
needs to have a message. So, like some words of wisdom, you think, or like some. It's always more appreciated when it shows something that you haven't thought about. That's true.
For example, have you watched the Pixar short film, Lou?
Lou.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's the Lost and Found.
Let's see. Oh no, I've not seen that.
It's this Lost and Found box that comes to life, and all the individual things make this creature that comes to life. And there is this bully kid. It's in a kindergarten, right? And this kid that bullies everyone, and the box tries to teach him a lesson, and so it makes him. I don't remember, somehow it makes him go around and give the other kids their things back, because he was the one who was taking everything away from them. And slowly, because this thing consists of those things, it slowly dies, basically. It's not there anymore. And as he goes into to pick up the rest of the stuff, because it's kind of like thinking, he begins to like it, and the other kids start to like him, and he's making friends. He's being nice to them, so they kind of like making friendships. And he learns from that, and then he goes to take more stuff, and then he finds a teddy bear that used to be his, but it was taken away from him. So it's like the message is, yeah, just because someone has been mean to you, you should still be nice, you know.
Yeah, like so it has a short little more message. True.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good. I just looked at it while you were talking, skimming through. Yeah, like some anti-bullying message. Sure, it could be.
It could be
many.
It could be many things. That's just an example, right?
And it's a good one, because it's also lighthearted and in a meaningful way still.
Yeah.
Like if we was talking about, I know when we were brainstorming at least in fifth semester for our game project idea, immediately people were jumping into these very heavy, gritty things like depression, horrible death, and as some people even went through with it for the first. That's even our group, but because these are very heavy topics. But when a story has a message that appreciates it in some way, I really, and I'm thinking up when I think about this.
Yeah.
Like the old man who becomes really like done with life. He's just cynical and old and tired of it. He's lost the one woman he loves, but then this kid comes in and who is full of life and naive and teaches him that there is some some wonders still left to be discovered.
Yeah.
There's something nice about living and experiencing life still. Even when a chapter is over,
Yeah.
so to speak. I think that's a really meaningful message, for example.
Mm.
I agree. That's
And it's also why I cried like a little baby when I saw it. And still cry whenever I see it.
the same with Inside Out. Like most Pixar movies have some theme.
Yeah, they just do that every time. And they always put a piece of music that they play in a minor key later in the movie. And I've
Yeah.
seen it now, and I see it coming every time. Every
But now
time.
you're starting to talk about music themes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, music is.
I think that's way later down the road thing.
It is.
We
It is
should talk
definitely.
about.
But
That's all I
it
know.
actually leads me a bit up to talking about movies that don't have music in it. No Country for Old Men.
What's the objective of the no music then? Or does it have any? Does it give something to the story?
I mean, the only movie I really have watched that doesn't have music in it is No Country for Old Men.
Fair enough.
But they still managed to like tell so much about what was going on and who the characters without any music in it.
Yeah, so it's not necessary. It's more like a tool.
Music, like if it had music in it, it would be completely unnecessary.
Right. I mean, it's definitely just a tool to set a mood. Like we're listening to Spotify right now while we're streaming, and it's just
it's
really
it's
moody,
chill.
like, yeah, it sets a mood of we can talk about anything kind of thing, lighthearted.
Yeah.
So it's not an awkward silence
Yeah.
because of it.
But
So, yeah.
I think most of all, No Country for Old Men is just intense from start to finish.
It is.
Okay, I mean, it can definitely be. Oh, yeah. When you said that, I want to put a point. I like a story to have a scale, like a dynamic. Like we call it in Danish, we call it the Barata model, but just to have a dynamic in its own right. So it's not always jarring and stressful, but it can also have some moments of calm. It has a very strong going back and forth between being very, very suspenseful and then letting people chill. And a good example of that, I think, is the movie Alien, for example.
Yeah.
Because you see like the influence the alien has as it creates suspense, and then there's a moment of clarity when they sit around the table and eat food together again. And then it becomes suspenseful again when the guy starts to puke and the alien starts to spread out his belly, And it's really terrible and it's disgusting. And the girl says, "Oh my god!" And it's really hilarious.
I think
and then it starts to run away from the situation, and then they create a moment of peace again, right? We're trying to calm down with the character.
Yeah.
Something that creates like some jabs in dynamic.
Yeah.
Is good, I think. And I'll just make a little thing here. Changes in dynamic. Just make it green. Or maybe red. Yeah.
And the last thing I had was it can be told with any object. So it's a thing I've been saying since the beginning.
Yeah.
Like stories are stories, but they should be able to tell that story with anything. So for example, Wall-E, that could have been told in so many different ways. They didn't have to use robots.
Oh yeah. True. But so the story itself is.
The story itself has to be impactful, and the way you tell it, like the tools you use to tell it, it's kind of irrelevant. You can put extra flavor in it, but it shouldn't be the main focus.
I'm inclined to agree with it on the side of a story should be definitely good on its own, should not rely on the universe it's in
Yeah.
its there.
Hmm.
But I think it, like Wally itself, the choice of setting and universe was very just complemented it so nice.
Yeah, of course, and that's it. That's is the extra flavor, and
But I still think it's like saying, "Oh, we're gonna have some soup without onions in it." If it's not, I mean, the onion in the soup is Wally. The robots, the humans coming back to Earth. That's the onion, but the soup itself is, of course, the whole story. It could be any ingredient you put in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. Actually, I think we're on the same page.
yeah.
Cool.
Story should be good. Okay. The story should be good on its own, and it shouldn't rely on the actors.
Yeah. Put a
Yeah,
little Wally up there. Okay. Is there anything else?
No, that's all I have.
Dang, okay. Quite an elaborate
Alright.
tree we got.
Well,
Okay.
well.
So what do you think? Should we get to... I mean, we've brainstormed what good storytelling is, at least in our book.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just 2 hours of work here.
Yeah, I think actually we have been streaming for about 4 hours now, so I think we should end it here for today.
Yeah.
Time? Should we plan on what we're going to do then? Right now? We're going to start getting into details about what the story could be about.
I think
I think it's better left for next time.
yes, we can think like let this marinate and think about like in our free time if you want, because the whole point of this is that we don't have homework. This is our homework.
Yeah.
So if you have the free time and you don't any of us, if we do, we can just think about what, like maybe to add some things or to and or how
sure.
how to continue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Well, I was happy to be here today.
Yes. So next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Yeah.
That might be doable.
Might be doable.
Yeah, it looks like I can do that.
Cool.
Same time.
Same place.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. This was actually, I don't know about you guys, but I think this went better than I expected.
Yeah. I think so.
I really think
Here we go.
we're doing stuff here.
Yeah, me too. And we're still gonna get into the nitty-gritty details eventually about what the story is gonna be about, and then we're gonna storm again about, oh no, we should do this, oh no, we should do that.
Oh yes, this is just a very, 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 very little tip of the giant iceberg.
Expectation at least. So, setting expectation.
Yeah.
Well, this is it for me. See you next time, people.
Yeah, it was nice.
But that's